He's a senior from Bowling Green, Kentucky, a transfer from Middle Tennessee State. An important Big East battle. These are two teams with eyes on the Big East Conference crown. Connecticut dares to dream even its first year in conference. Branch fumbled the kickoff, then lost it again, and managed to get it back at the 25. He couldn't handle the kickoff originally, then put it on the ground after he did gather it in. Credit him with a very shaky 13-yard return.
Well, it's off the shoulder pads, just goes through them. You got to make a breadbasket, get the elbows underneath to support it, and then again just trips the hand on the football. And you know what, they played nervous, Sean, against Boston College in their loss, admittedly, right? Because it was a big game. They can't have that kind of tightness in this ball game here or they'll get in trouble.
Coach Edsel thought they lost some of that in their game here against Pitt. Not nervous about being on the big stage. They open with a flea flicker, and Orlovsky is pulled down. Crowd wanted a face mask call. They won't get it. Scott Jerko, the senior from Morgantown, playing for his hometown university, drops that play for a 9-yard loss. The handoff went to Cornell Brockington, and he flipped it back to Orlovsky. The Mountaineers are not fooled.
You know what? They're not fooled up front, and they've got the coverage back deep. That's excellent discipline on West Virginia opening bell. And with the arm, though, of Orlovsky, we saw him go at 65 yards last week against Pittsburgh. He had the ability to get it down there, but if you don't have time, you have no shot at it.
Orlovsky, the senior quarterback from Shelton, Connecticut, just outside Bridgeport. Tonight his 36th career start. 6'5", 240 with an excellent arm, and he's on target to Matt Pataya. He's close to a first down out at the 34-yard line. He got 18. They'll need one more to move the chains. Brockington, the feature back. He has started 4 games in his career and rushed for 100+ in all 4. Henry has been their leading receiver. And a veteran offensive line. 139 career starts combined between Krug, Markowski, Irwin, Berry, and Preston. 3rd down and 1 from the 34. The strength of the formation to the left. And a play action fake to Brockington, and the pass thrown behind the intended receiver. Dan Murray, the tight end, wasn't looking for the ball. He was open, and Orlovsky saw him, but Murray did not have his head turned to the ball. So the defense holds. It's a 3-3-5 alignment. Dykes, Lynch, and Hardy up front. Adam Lenort in the middle. A great linebacking core with Jerko and McLee, and the 5 men in the secondary led by Adam Pac-Man Jones, one of the best in the nation. They get Lawrence Adina back after he sat out against Virginia Tech with a neck stinger. And there's Pac-Man Jones, one of the most dangerous return men in the country, averaging 19 yards per punt return this year. Shane Hussar is the freshman punter, and under duress he got off a decent kick. Jones let it bounce, and it'll roll dead at the 25-yard line. Down by Torian Sewell. A 41-yard punt. West Virginia's quarterback is Rasheed Marshall, the senior from Pittsburgh, out of Brashear High School, 3rd year as the starting quarterback. 20-9 in his career as the starter.
And we've seen him as a hot and cold guy. We've seen it where he can really throw the ball well. We've seen it where he can hit the broadside of a barn.
West Virginia, a spread offense where they like to run more than throw. They come out throwing. And the first pass of the night on target to Dwayne Thompson, the backup quarterback, who's seeing more and more time at wide receiver. Justin Perkins, their best defensive back, made the tackle. Colson, with K.J. Harris injured, will be the featured superback, as they call him. And up front, we talked about the veteran line for Connecticut. This West Virginia line, 109 combined starts. Tim Brown, the center, in his 6th year of eligibility. He was granted an additional year for medical reasons. Jason Colson to the 32, where he ran into Maurice Lloyd and Rama Fuller. Fuller, part of a front 4 that is missing their best defensive end, Tyler King, out with a broken leg. Jason Ward steps in for him. Canadians on each end of that defensive line. The linebackers, one of the best groups in the country. And the secondary, Perkins, should be matched up for most of the night with Chris Henry, the leading receiver for West Virginia. 3rd down and 3. Play action fake for Marshall. Nice cutback and a 1st down and much more out across the 40. And pulled down at the 42-yard line. Chopped down by Maurice Lloyd after an 11-yard gain.
This is a running football team, and Marshall's one of those quarterbacks with his legs, the ability that he has to get to the corner puts a lot of pressure on a defense, especially on this play. UConn had 8 guys tight around the box, and they were ready to stuff the run. Singles on the outside makes it difficult to stop a good runner like him.
And 3 wide receivers, and Jason Colson lined up to the right of Marshall. West Virginia coach is worried about the noise here, but of course Marshall had to contend with deafening noise in Blacksburg a week and a half ago. He's going deep and has Henry open, and it's off his fingertips. He beat Justin Perkins in coverage. We mentioned that's a matchup we expect to see all night long, and that was a ball that should have been completed for a West Virginia touchdown. You don't often see a receiver as open as Henry was.
And the time that he had to throw the football, plenty of time. Justin Perkins bit on a little move, and like you said, you got to finish this off, and this is a great throw. Henry, normally a dependable wide receiver, their big play strike guy.
Looked like he slowed down the last couple of steps, and then the ball was too long for him. If he had just stayed in stride, he might have run right under it. The draw, and Colson gets drilled for a loss back to the 40-yard line. It's Alfred Finches, who had a remarkable game 13 days ago against Pittsburgh with 17 tackles. Turned Big East Player of the Week honors.
He plays downhill. Number 9 is one of those players up top right up here. He's the guy who's always underneath his pads. You see the leverage that number 9 played with? Number 9 will teach a young man, if you're learning football, how to play with leverage. Get underneath and use your full body.
James Hargrave, the outside linebacker, also into the play. The 3 linebackers are the top 3 tacklers on the defense. Out of the gun on 3rd down and 13. No score early in the 1st quarter, and the pass through the hands of the intended receiver, Brandon Miles. So no help for Rasheed Marshall from his receiving corps. Both Henry and Miles failed to come up with catchable balls.
And you can't blame that start or that bad offensive series on Marshall. Like you said, his receivers dropping balls. A lot of times a quarterback is on and the receivers are just right with him. But at times, your receivers don't feel that the openings are out there and they can't get open. Tonight, it's there.
Well, Rich Rodriguez said Phil Brady's done a good job, except he's good for 1 shank a game. And the coach hopes he just got that 1 shank out of his system there. A 23-yard punt. We'll come back to East Hartford right after this. Back at Rentschler Field in East Hartford, Connecticut, about 20 minutes from the campus of the University of Connecticut. In its 2nd year as the beautiful new home of the Huskies, still the newest stadium in Division 1A. They're filling it with regularity now. 1st and 10, UConn from its own 35 after the shank punt. 3 receivers to the right, and the handoff goes to Cornell Brockington. Coming off a 185-yard outing against Pittsburgh the last time out, but nothing doing there, a gain of a ½ yard. Adam Lenort led the defense.
I think Brockington is one of the more underappreciated backs in America. I mean, he can run outside, inside, and they do throw to set up the run here at UConn, and he is a tremendous football player.
Well, they strive for balance. Their philosophy is to stretch the field vertically and horizontally. I think a lot of these UConn players haven't received much national attention because they're so new to Division 1A, but they'll have 4 national TV games this year to change that, including tonight. The pass on target to Karan Henry, the 5th-year senior. Anthony Mims took him out of bounds. Henry was the starting quarterback here back in 2001. He suffered a hip pointer injury. Dan Orlovsky took the job over and never gave it back. Henry said, I understand. He's a better quarterback than me, and he's made a nice transition to wide receiver.
He's a playmaker. He understands defense, secondary. The quarterback experience has really helped him in his wide receiver skills. Timing's important in this game. Watch Orlovsky getting rid of the football. He's got to pick the tempo up just a little bit.
Henry, the motion man, on 3rd down and 6. Here comes a blitz for West Virginia. Orlovsky got the throw off, but it's short of the tight end, Dan Murray. And 3 downs and out for the Huskies of Connecticut.
Sean, what I'm talking about, West Virginia really is a top 15 program, top 10 program, and their speed's going to be a little bit more than UConn has experienced or gone against. The right guard, 72, can't quite get out and get the safety coming in. Orlowski's footwork is going to be critical tonight. Step, plant, and get rid of the ball, or else he'll be sacked.
He's very good at getting the ball away without being sacked. He was sacked only 10 times last year. Here's Hussar, the freshman from Plantation, Florida. Had a great night against Pittsburgh. 5 of his 8 punts went inside the 20-yard line. He affected field position all night. This is short and returnable for Pac-Man, who got belted out of bounds near the 38-yard line on the far side. Hit by Tyvon Branch, a 34-yard punt and a 5-yard return. No score, just underway in East Hartford.
ESPN's College Football Primetime, brought to you by Suzuki. More and more people are making the smart move to Suzuki.
And welcome back to Rentschler Field. West Virginia averaging 6.5 yards per play this season on first down. Trying to get something going tonight. Their offense stagnant in the last ball game against Virginia Tech. Brian Wright has come into the backfield. He was the man to whom the fake went, and Eddie Jackson couldn't come up with the catch on the throw by Rasheed Marshall. Well, they haven't been able to make many catches for Marshall so far, Holly.
Well, that's right. Chris Henry came to the sideline after he dropped that wide open ball. He was sick about it. He told his coaching staff, coaches, you got to get me back in the game. Get me back in the game. Give me a hitch. Give me something so I can get my rhythm. You can count on it that he wants to put that play behind him and get his head back in this game.
That's a lot of verbiage from Henry, who rarely says anything. He is notoriously shy, does not speak with the media. Marshall says, I'll handle it myself. If nobody will catch it for me, I'll just run it. And he runs successfully into Connecticut territory to the 42, where John Fletcher made the tackle after a 20-yard gain.
You know, UConn's defense is going to play tight. You can see how they are here. Now, it's going to be critical on the perimeter tonight that they maintain discipline. If you're that bunched up inside, the tight end came in 81 and just walled them off. Ryan Thomas just collapsed the linebackers. There's no support for the cutback by the quarterback.
3 receivers, Jason Colson the lone back, and they hand it to Colson for very little. Jason's a sophomore from Rochester, New York, out of Edison Tech in Rochester, where he rushed for more than 3,000 yards in his last 2 years. They're without K.J. Harris, who rushed for 337 earlier this year against East Carolina.
Yeah, how's your night going?
They know they're going to be locked up all night long, those two.
And you know what, Perkins, you know what, he'll lull you to sleep. He's got a couple he's intercepted and taken back to the house.
2nd and 8. And another ball right through the hands of McQuell Henderson. Wow. Catch the ball.
3 drops by West Virginia's receivers, one of which was a touchdown. Chris Henry, they're throwing the ball well. Receivers have to get it together. There's no explanation for that.
That's a veteran receiver. There's Harris on the sideline. He's been bothered by knee and ankle injuries. 337 of those yards came in one game, as he set the school record, first ever to rush for more than 300 yards in a game. Marshall's 1 for 5 passing. He should be at least 4 for 5. On 3rd and 8, the rush forces him out of the pocket. Finally a catch and a first down. It's Henderson again, atoning for the drop a moment ago, down to the 28-yard line. A gain of 13.
And you know what? This all comes back to timing. Tyler King is not on the defensive line for UConn. They're not getting in the backfield right now, and they're also not matching up down the field. Number 9, you saw Fincher, the outstanding linebacker. He was almost eyeballing Marshall, the quarterback, as a spy in the middle of the field and didn't drift over into that pocket to cover the receiver.
Marshall design run. They'll run a lot of quarterback draw, other quarterback runs. James Hargrave not fooled. They've been well drilled to look for Marshall to keep it and take off. That's a loss back to the 30-yard line.
But Marshall, that's what he's done. His running ability really has the attention of Fincher in the middle of the field, number 9 on defense. Fincher's got to pay attention to him from sideline to sidelines, which might take him out a little bit of the coverage.
Marshall has rushed for 1,432 yards in his career, including 29 tonight. Back to the air, and the catch made by Brandon Miles. That's good work after the catch to break through a tackle. Deon McPhee got him on the ground at the 24-yard line. As a matter of fact, Marshall has a great chance to be the all-time leading rushing quarterback in the history of the Big East. He started the night 154 from Donovan McNabb's all-time record.
I read your notes. I keep up with you a little bit. Not Mr. McNugget like you, but I try.
3rd down and 6. Marshall looked to the sideline for the play. Rich Rodriguez, the head coach, calls the plays. They're heading toward the student end of the stadium where it's much louder. Marshall with all day to throw. Throws toward the end zone. Caught for a first down at the 2 by Eddie Jackson. A 27-yard gain, and you said it, without Tyler King. Virtually no pressure on the quarterback being applied by Connecticut.
Again, like you said, without Tyler King in there right now, there is absolutely zero pressure coming to the quarterback. Slot guy up top is going to come down. It looks like, though, they have 5 white jerseys running against the secondary. There's a lot of time. There's great pass protection. And then going up, finishing the catch was important for Jackson. Teammates haven't done.
Off to Colson. He is struggling for the end zone, and he's in. Touchdown, West Virginia. He dragged Alfred Fincher and Alan Barnes into the end zone for the first score of the night. Fifth rushing touchdown of the season for Colson. As we noted, even though Harris has the big numbers, there were really not in terms of production from K.J. Harris to Jason Colson. And the extra point up and good for Brad Cooper. The 16th ranked Mountaineers with an impressive drive capped by Colson. 5:50 to go in the first quarter. 7-0 West Virginia. Well, the Connecticut Huskies playing their first game of the season without the terrific defensive end Tyler King, who broke his right leg in their last game against Pittsburgh. He hopes to be back before the end of the season. He was leading all Big East defensive linemen in tackles and tackles for a loss, and his loss was in evidence on that last West Virginia drive.
Yeah, King lived in the backfield. And when you watch him play, he's the guy that has all the eye black around his face. Instead of just doing a little smudge, he just kind of paints his face up. He's a warrior, and they don't have that warrior going on right now on defense.
Short kickoff by Cooper. And again, trouble handling the kickoff. It's on the ground. Tyvon Branch for the 2nd consecutive kickoff return. Couldn't handle it. Return at 7 yards, but who has possession? Connecticut. That might be the last time we see Branch running back kickoffs for a while. He's 0 for 2.
Might be. He's got this bouncing the ball off the shoulder pads down pretty darn good. And now he's in this little funk that Branch is like, hey, mentally he's out of it. You got to take him out of kick return right now.
So the Huskies begin from their own 22. Cornell Brockington, the lone back, and 2 tight ends in the game. Brockington off left tackle for a yard, taken down by Adam Lenort. Terrific inside linebacker who's been bothered by an ankle injury this year. Where it sold out Rentschler Field for the first meeting ever in football between West Virginia and Connecticut. Identical overall records of 4-1. Sean McDonough, Craig James, and Holly Rowe. West Virginia leads 7-0 on a short touchdown run by Jason Colson.
But doesn't it feel like it's more than 7-0? I mean,
Yes.
They've dominated this game. UConn has not been in this game yet.
It's the best opponent UConn will have played so far this season. Orlovsky's pass complete to Jason Williams. And he's very near the first down marker. Looks like he has the first down after a gain of 9.
And it's a nice job of protection. Even though they're getting smacked up front, they're getting in the way, and the outside move by Williams, the timing of the ball. Where did the ball go down? You know, we had a big play last week. Where was the football, you know? But that was key for them. Connecticut has to run the ball, in my opinion. They're not playing physical right now, and that would be the thing I'd be jumping on about if I was coaching them.
We spoke with Randy Edsall about West Virginia. He said absolutely they deserve to be the favorites in the Big East. He believes they are the most talented team in the conference. Brockington finally finds some running room and nearly broke it. He was pulled down by Adam Jones. Pac-Man gobbled him up at the 47-yard line, a gain of 15.
Yeah, Coach Edsall earned some of that big salary, my man. You better call the running plays. You're going to be whipped in this game here, and that's exactly what they've got to do. They've got to lather up the pads of their football team. Their defense ought to be over on the sideline setting their pads right now because nobody at UConn's playing tough.
Well, he faked out completely. Jamal Adai, the safety, number 4. They get some extra yardage. 1st and 10 Huskies. 2 tight ends in the game. They want to keep it on the ground. Probably monitoring Craig James tonight. To the 50 for a gain of 3. Tomorrow night, another great matchup here on ESPN. 2 unbeaten, 17th ranked Louisville. They hope to continue their BCS Buster status with a win over the number 3 Miami Hurricanes. College football primetime presented by Cooper Tires, Thursday at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. It's also available in high definition on ESPN HD. For in-depth college football coverage, check out ESPN.com. Search college football. Louisville coming into the Big East next year. 3 wide receivers bunched to the right. Henry, Kataya, and Williams. Orlovsky zips one. Open receiver. This could go. Williams inside the 10 and down at the 5-yard line.
Talk about timing, Sean, and getting it going here. That time now, they've got to get Orlovsky to get back in the pocket and throw the football. Jason Williams, very crisp. This football was on the way as soon as Branch comes in. As soon as he makes this move, watch it. Right there, ball's in the air. And the timing of that throw was beautiful. Last week, whenever they played against Pittsburgh, Orlovsky couldn't throw the middle of the field. Remember, he could throw the outside, the middle, he was off.
44-yard gain. Connecticut in position for the tying touchdown. They mark Williams down to the 6. He has great speed. Orlovsky on a roll to the right, throws it away. Receivers all covered. Jason Hardy was applying pressure from the defensive end position.
Falls under the category of just being smart, right?
Yep.
You know, live to play another down.
Well, he has a lot of attributes that make a terrific quarterback. Intelligence is one of them. Obviously, he's very experienced, very poised, great size. And he looks to be a guy, Craig, who can make all the throws.
Very important drive. This was a critical drive for this football team to respond.
Brockington straight up the middle and down inside the 3. Tripped up by the nose tackle, Ben Lynch, one of the best in the East. He had a great year last year. Lynch has had some shoulder problems that have hampered him this year. He's just starting to return to last year's form.
54 Markowski, look at him come around in the hole. He gets up in there, and there's really 2 different spots for Brockington to choose to go into. But I feel like that the last 2 or 3 times they've run the football, the linemen are starting to find out exactly where those West Virginia frontmen are.
2 tight ends in the game and nothing doing. They were waiting for Brockington, a loss back to the 4. It'll be 4th and goal, and Randy Edsall will send Matt Newsy and the field goal unit out. Scott Jerko led the defensive surge for the Mountaineers.
See if you can find a lane here. You got Markowski pulling again, kicks out on the linebacker. Once you're inside, look at all the yellow jerseys. They've forced it back over here. There's nowhere for Brockington to go. A lot of yellow britches.
Now Newsy, who had a big game, 3 for 3 against Pittsburgh, to regain some confidence. He had been shaky before that. This is a 21-yard try from a tough angle, and he makes it. When we were here 2 weeks ago, they booed Newsy, the sophomore, during the introduction of the starting lineups. Tonight, when his name was introduced, he got the loudest cheer. How quickly it can turn around. 7-3 in the Nutmeg State. Newsy, a sophomore from Trumbull, Connecticut, with a 21-yard field goal, capping a 9-play drive to get Connecticut on the board. They're down 7-3 in the final 2 minutes of the first quarter. And Newsy will kick it away to the dangerous Pac-Man Jones and Brandon Miles. They'll try to kick it away if they can from Pac-Man, but Randy Edsel said we have a young kicker and we don't want to give him too much to think about. A lot of times we get involved in trying to be too precise with that kickoff and cause more problems than it solves. Made a good job. He got it to Jones, but made him run for it back into the end zone, and here he comes. Boy, he just catches that ball and runs as fast as he can. It looked like Connecticut was offside on the kickoff. See if Rich Rodriguez wants the ball at the 27-yard line. Deion Anderson made the tackle. Hood Carp Countdown is pleased to bring you these stunning aerial views of today's football action live from the Lightship.
And I did learn a couple of weeks ago what Hood was.
Yes.
Yep.
5-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
We'll just add the 5 yards onto the kickoff return.
They were a couple of yards offsides. Maybe giving them, like 8-yard penalty or something. I mean, they were bad offsides.
Did you hear what that call was?
You were all over it. You were throwing your flag from here.
I did.
I assume Rentschler Field is the best hot dogs you've ever had, because again tonight you had 3 or 4. I don't know if that's in the Hood Carp Countdown, but
it's not. And I had sauerkraut to go with it tonight. Didn't have that the last time here.
Believe me, the rest of the booth did notice. From the 32-yard line, West Virginia with the ball. They had a nice 9-play drive the last time they were in possession and score a touchdown. And Marshall wants a timeout. And Rich Rodriguez, the West Virginia native, not all that happy. He grew up in Granttown, West Virginia, population 657, and played at WVU for the legendary Don Nehlen. While we have a moment, let's check in again with Holly Rowe.
Guys, right before that last play, you could see Rich Rodriguez on the sideline. Speed it up, speed it up, speed it up. What they do at West Virginia is all about tempo and their spread offense. They've had 3 different speeds over the years, and right now Rich Rodriguez not happy with the tempo they're playing at. Rasheed Marshall, though, didn't want to speed it up, didn't like what he saw and calls the timeout, but watch for them to go with that quick tempo as this drive continues.
Tell you what they need to go with is a little stick 'em on the fingers.
Yeah.
They'd put a little stick 'em on those fingers, the wide receivers. They'd have all the tempo they needed. Marshall's trying to figure out who to throw it to right now.
Rich Rodriguez made a great name for himself as an offensive coordinator at Tulane, where he had Sean King as his quarterback while coaching under Tommy Bowden. Then he went to Clemson and had Woody Dancer running this spread offense. After the timeout, 1st and 10. Marshall keeps and trips up at the 30-yard line, with Maurice Lloyd and Sean Main waiting to tackle him, but the 30-yard line tackled him instead.
There's that tempo Holly was talking about.
Marshall was their leading rusher last week against Virginia Tech. Rushed for 74 yards. When they had a difficult offensive day, Rich Rodriguez said we probably should have thrown the ball more. The flag.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 7 on the offense, 5-yard penalty.
Brandon Miles, the wide receiver, guilty of the early movement.
Well, Sean, one thing that has not worked has been the traditional 4-3 defense and sitting back, letting them throw the ball downfield. They're going to have to change it up front, crossing, moving, bringing linebackers. Something has to change.
Penalties, another big problem for West Virginia this season. They're averaging 97 yards per game in penalties. Marshall takes off, has all kinds of running room, lowers his head and nearly got the first down. He comes up a yard shy. MJ Estep made the tackle, a gain of 16 for Rasheed Marshall.
This was a designed run all the way. 24 Colson's going to block. You see him coming out of there. He's going to go set up and get right here. See him right here? This is a designed quarterback draw all the way. He's able to get out on the linebacker, and there's no way that Mo Lloyd can get off that. Nice design play, good, well-executed play.
spotted him down at the 40, so it's 3rd down and 2 in the final half minute of the first quarter, and movement again. Looked like Josh Bailey, who rotates in at tight end with Ryan Thomas, was guilty of early movement for the Mountaineers.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 49 on the offense, 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
11 penalties for 119 yards last game at Virginia Tech. 14 penalties against East Carolina. 12 against Central Florida. That's up to 97.5 per game. Too many.
That's almost 100 yards a game.
As a member of our crew who shall remain nameless astutely pointed out at our production meeting this morning. Almost the length of a football field. 3rd down and 7. Again, no rush. And will there be a flag? Yes, there will. Justin Perkins was over the back of Chris Henry. They're already well acquainted here at the end of the first quarter, and that'll move the chains for West Virginia.
And the official who threw the flag, that was the right guy. He could see that right arm of Perkins hooked around the receivers. He's coming across the middle of the field. Watch Perkins' right hand, right arm.
Yep.
Just on his tummy there, right? He's getting a little leverage with that right hand on the tummy, and the back judge back there, he's able to see it. It's a nice call.
Perkins, a senior, has already returned 2 interceptions for touchdowns this season, including one in the last ball game against Pittsburgh. He's one of the best corners preseason All Big East this year, one of the best in the conference. Jason Colson tackled by Maurice Lloyd, and that's the end of the first quarter. First meeting ever between West Virginia and Connecticut, and the visiting Mountaineers have a 4-point lead. Rasheed Marshall 42 yards rushing in the first quarter. West Virginia leads Connecticut 7-3 after 15 minutes. What sort of adjustments do you look for?
Not sure. What about you? All I know is UConn's defense is missing Tyler King on the defensive line, and they've got to figure out how to spy Rasheed Marshall when he's running around up in there. And when they're doing that, that opens them up to the outside on the perimeter.
They come from the sideline right over the ball for a 2nd down and 8 on the first play of the second quarter from midfield. Colson hands it off on a reverse. One man to beat. Touchdown, West Virginia. Pac-Man Jones, and the flag thrown probably for an excessive celebration. Ordinarily a defensive back put in there on offense for that play. And Rich Rodriguez upset about what happened at the end of the play. They put Pac-Man Jones, who has scored a touchdown just about every conceivable way in his career, in on offense. And he took it to the house. And then an excessive celebration.
There are 2 penalties during the play. Holding, number 7 on the offense. 10-yard penalty for the spot of the foul. After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 9 on the offense, 15-yard penalty. Repeat the down.
Well, we never saw the flag for the hold against Brandon Miles. So the touchdown is wiped out on the holding penalty against number 7, the junior from Goochland, Virginia.
Oh, my partner, the eye in the sky never lies. Number 7's on the right side of your screen. Here he is. You see the jersey? There's your hold right there.
He didn't need it.
Yeah.
He was going to get by that guy without the help.
Yeah, right. Pac-Man would have run by him, but nonetheless, there was jersey cloth pulled. A nice call by the officials. I didn't see the flag either.
No, I didn't see the flag. I only saw the flag in the end zone. None of us up here in the booth saw it, but it was there. And what a big penalty it is. The penalties continue to hurt West Virginia. Pac-Man Jones, in his career, has scored a touchdown in 4 different ways. Kickoff return, punt return, interception return, fumble return. And he almost had one on a rushing play. But it's wiped out on the penalty, and instead of a touchdown, they're back at the 39-yard line, 2nd and long. Again, no rush, but it's still an interception. Thrown right into the hands of Maurice Lloyd. His first pick of the year, and he's tackled from behind at the 27-yard line. Tackled by Charles Hales. A 22-yard return by Lloyd, who's had a terrific first half.
And you know what? What does a flag cost you? Not only 7 points, but all the momentum in the football game. Watch number 11, right side of your screen, drops into coverage. He fooled the quarterback. Marshall thought that Lloyd was going to go back to the middle on the slant following number 14. He stopped his drop coverage, and it got him. It's a big turnover by a linebacker other than Fincher. We hear a lot about Mo Lloyd. Lots of folks like him around here, and did an excellent job of getting it up the field.
There was a penalty on the return against Connecticut's John Fletcher for unnecessary roughness. Coach Edsall's trying to find the culprit. Trying to get his defensive unit to play a bit more disciplined.
You see Tyler King over there? Hey, I didn't do it.
I'm on crutches, Coach. It wasn't me. Well, instead of starting at the 27, they started at 42. Ornell Brockington running room to the left. Gets a block from Kataya and is tripped up at the 20-yard line. Adam Lenort saved the touchdown. Excellent blocking on the perimeter by the wide receiver. Matt Kataya helped Brockington pick up additional yardage. It's a 24-yard gain.
Well, a little bit of gambling going on West Virginia on the right side. They're going to try to come in here and confuse them, but the vision of Brockington is outstanding, and I think you're finding out now exactly why I, along with a lot of other people in this country, respect this guy's ability. Brockington can run the football. He's got speed, vision. Some people said early on, hey, he's just a downhill guy. Heck with that.
Brockington, the cousin of John Brockington, the All-American at Ohio State, running back who had a nice NFL career, primarily with Green Bay. And a timeout called by Orlando, leaving each team with 2, and leaving Randy Edsall less than pleased. Out of the Connecticut timeout, 1st and 10 for the Huskies. They're at the West Virginia 18-yard line, trailing 7-3 in the opening minute of the second quarter. Orlovsky throws it short for Matt Kataya. And no running room for the speedy wide receiver. Perhaps a yard, and that's all for the senior from Webster, New York. Outstanding speed in the 4.3+ range. Now they bring a fullback in. Deion Anderson will line up in the eye in front of Brockington. Orlovsky wants to throw to the only receiver who has split out, and it's incomplete. A low throw intended for Karan Henry. Here's Holly Rowe.
Well, guys, after their last offensive series, UConn came over to the sideline. Dan Orlovsky went along his offensive bench and said, guys, good job, but not good enough. We need to be in the zone. He meant the end zone. He doesn't want them to settle for 3 points again. We'll see if they can punch it in here, guys.
How about Holly got the pen going behind her ear? She's got a business going down
It's all
there.
business tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Orlovsky with 71 career touchdown passes. Only Timmy Chang of Hawaii has thrown more among active quarterbacks. This has been an offense that has struggled in the red zone from time to time this year. That's where they are again. 3rd down and 9. They're showing blitz. They bring a blitz. Orlovsky got rid of it, looking for Kataya, who never saw the ball. Is in the air over his head. Pac-Man Jones had the coverage, but Kataya never saw the ball coming.
You know, there's a cat and mouse game going on right now between Pac-Man Jones on the end secondary and Orlovsky. Now, there's a pre-snap read. If he's really going to come, that safety's going to have to come over to have him. That's a fake. Leave it alone. Don't worry about it. The safety's staying in the middle of the field. Pre-snap reads is critical from the receiver and from the quarterback.
Here's Newsy, who connected from 21 earlier. This is a 35-yard field goal. And it is good. Almost overcooked the hook, but just did get it inside that left upright.
Man, that ball had some serious hook going to it. Like you said, he was booed last week before and then had a good game and comes back and they're cheering him in the introductions tonight.
Randy Edsel said he really was never in danger of losing his job despite his struggles because we don't have anybody else who's anywhere near as good. Zanuzzi has a lot of talent. And we talk about hooks, he equated it to a golfer. So a lot of it is confidence. You hit a couple of good tee balls in a row, then you get up there on the next tee and you're confident you're going to hit another one. You miss a couple of kicks, you're not so confident. But he kicked that big 49-yarder right as the first half expired last week against Pitt. That seemed to change his whole season round.
Which was like 6 yards greater than his longest in the career. I mean, it was a big kick for him.
First kick he had ever made over 40 yards.
There you go again. You know what? You're a computer. Memory bank up there.
Well, I'm here to help, Greg, in any way that I can.
Doing a good job.
I'm not called upon to do much, but when you need me, I'm going to try to be here for everybody.
I'll be there.
Pac-Man Jones back for the kickoff with Brandon Miles. Was Miles' holding penalty that negated the West Virginia touchdown scored by Pac-Man. Newsy's boot comes down to Pac-Man Jones. Trying to get across the field. And gets chopped down at the 21-yard line. Good coverage by Connecticut, led by Ryan Hennigan, the 15-yard return. Tomorrow morning, get up early. The NBA preseason tips off in the Eastern Hemisphere. Returning home, Yao Ming leads the Houston Rockets against the Sacramento Kings live from Shanghai, China. That's at 7:30 a.m. Eastern. The NBA preseason on ESPN. Tomorrow morning, for in-depth NBA coverage, check out ESPN.com, search NBA. That'll be big. Yao Ming back in China. No pun intended.
He's big wherever he goes,
sure
whichever continent.
The lead one now for the Mountaineers. Jason Colson took the toss through a big hole. First down. Lloyd trying to strip it. He couldn't, but he did get the tackle at the 39-yard line. 18 yards on the run for Jason Colson.
And that's the big fella right there who just did an outstanding job of finding number 9. Watch Justice going on the outside right over here. I mean, that's just a beautiful job of getting up in there and covering up number 9 Fincher. I mean, he couldn't see where the ball carrier was.
Good block as well by Sheffy. Jeremy Sheffy, a backup right guard, number 65. First in here, quick throw and the catch. And a gain to the 45-yard line. McQuell Henderson driven back.
You know, at one point they thought Henderson might be an explosive big-time player for them. He was very explosive there by using his body, making sure he caught the ball. Like you said, Sean, these receivers have dropped several of Marshall's passes today.
Henderson had 40 catches 2 years ago, down to 18 last year. Only 6 this season coming in. Marshall keeps. He's across midfield with the first down. James Hargrave, number 32, made the tackle for Connecticut.
And, you know, a designed run for the quarterback here. It's like a zone stretch. You got the lineman. Everybody's going to reach over here. And then watch the quarterback make the fake and follow the ball carrier up into the line of scrimmage. Colson goes up in there as a lead blocker. Was the word I was looking for.
You found it.
I was, you know, Webster was working for me there. I was looking for the right, you know, word.
Flags stop the play. Dennis Hennigan, the referee.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 65 on the offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
That's Jeremy Sheffy with a nice block a couple of plays ago, a converted defensive end. He was made the move to offense. He was a backup last year, rotating in splitting time at right guard this year.
I like it when a defensive lineman makes the conversion to the O-line. They bring an attitude of more, you know, they're used to coming off and aggressive. A lot of offensive linemen all through their life, they've had to get used to pass blocking, this and that, and those D linemen come over.
A little too aggressive that time. Marshall out of the gun. He takes off and cannot get away. Another tackle for Alfred Fincher. As this offense has evolved, they've gone less and less from the shotgun. Rich Rodriguez said back in the early days it was about 70% shotgun. Now it's down to 50-50. He thinks it's easier for the running backs to run certain running plays when it is not out of the shotgun.
Like you say, it may look like it's going to be a pass shotgun, but they will run the football.
Here's the quick pass to Chris Henry. He went back to the original line of scrimmage, but still 10 to go. John Baranowski, a backup defensive end, made the tackle. A freshman from Sudbury, Massachusetts. He came to UConn from Hargrave Military Academy in Virginia after a high school career at a terrific program in Massachusetts, Lincoln Sudbury High School. Baranowski is the cousin of Hank Blaylock, the all-star third baseman of the Texas Rangers. Third down and long, and another flag, another stoppage.
Left tackle.
This was considered a strength of their team, the offensive line.
False start, number 75 on the offense. 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
Michael Watson, a second-year starter, flinched, and there it is. Yep. And it's a line that certainly didn't play very well last week against Virginia Tech.
No, and you know what? This stadium's kind of deceiving. It's, 40,000 and somewhere in there. They're full house. But it sounds like a 60,000. I mean, they get loud here.
And they're close. It's a new stadium. And they're right on top of the field. Third down and 16. Just a 4-man rush. Marshall waving to his receivers. And he's driven down and a late flag thrown. James Hargrave made the tackle and a good open field tackle. The flag was behind the play as Marshall was running. Flag's back at the 46-yard line of West Virginia. And it's a clip. Where these Big East officials have gotten a workout this year throwing flags. Randy Edsall's going to turn it down.
Number 24 in the offense. Penalty is declined. Fourth down.
Yes, they have had a workout throwing the flags. Number 9, Fincher, once he drops back into pass coverage and Marshall breaks, he's the spy guy. Now, what he does by forcing Marshall to run the ball, it made the decision from the quarterback and the offense that the rest of his defensive teammates could come up and make a tackle.
Nice snap, but Phil Brady handled it. And a good punt. Thanks largely to the roll down near the 11-yard line. 37-yard punt. 7-6 West Virginia, but the coach of the Mountaineers is not happy right now.
ESPN's College Football Primetime, brought to you by TIAA CREF, financial services for the greater good. And Dodge, you can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge.
Well, Rich Rodriguez, the West Virginia coach, says his team has not played its A game yet this year. They haven't tonight, certainly, although they do have a 1-point lead. Connecticut ball from the 11. First and 10. And Brockington through a nice hole. Breaks tackles. He's near a first down. Out to the 21-yard line, a rumble of 10 for Brockington, a sophomore from Burlington, New Jersey.
Jerko, number 33, a big key linebacker for this defense. Watch how he gets hung up with the Connecticut offensive line. It's a combo block. Brockington runs right past him. He's running beyond that. That runner's eyes are looking to the next level, trusting in his guard to make sure the block is done, and Jerko's got to come off of it.
There is an injured West Virginia player.
Looks like Pac-Man.
Yeah, it does. I can't tell, but I believe it is Pac-Man Jones. Looks like it might just be a case of the wind getting knocked out of him. I don't seem to be looking at anything in particular. Jeff Castile is the defensive coordinator for West Virginia. They need to get back to creating some turnovers. They've been in the top 5 in the country the last 2 seasons. In turnover margin, they're only +4 in turn and walking off. Perhaps he just did get the wind knocked out of him by his own teammate. He took a lick from Mike Lorello.
fully exposed, extended, not expecting to get hit. You know, I always wondered that. Defensive guys, you know, I'd have to, if I'd have played defense, I'd have had to deal with them. Look, I won't hit you around the pile. You don't hit me.
And Lorello packs pretty good wallop now. He's gotten bigger and stronger throughout his career. Still just 205, but the coaches say he'll hit you like a much bigger guy, and he hit the wrong guy in that play. 1st and 10. Brockington has rushed for 56 yards. Gets a couple more. Out to the 24, a gain of 3. Adam Lenort made the tackle. He's helped fill the void created by the graduation of Grant Wiley, an All-American linebacker a year ago, who went to camp with the Minnesota Vikings and got injured. Pac-Man right back in the game, but they're staying out one play.
He's such a leader for them on defense. You know, Grant Wiley was an outstanding player here at West Virginia. And Pac-Man now has kind of stepped up junior year. He's, you know, a couple years ago, remember he went off with Kellen Winslow in a football game? Kind of had a shoving match with him. That set the tone for his career.
They split Orlovsky out to the wing, and they snapped the ball to Karan Henry, as we mentioned, a former starting quarterback. He took the snap with Orlovsky split out to the left. And Henry got to the 30. They'll need about 1.5 yards to move the chains. There's Orlovsky lined up as a wide receiver.
And in the backfield, Henry. And I a couple weeks ago, or last week, I did a University of Houston game, and they came into the ball game, and they had all of these players on their field, these former quarterbacks, and they started using Kendall Briles, one of the quarterbacks, in the backfield. And the defense was like confused. They didn't know exactly how to handle it. I think nowadays you got to get your best players on the field. You know, West Virginia's got a couple of former quarterbacks playing wide receiver tonight.
Out of the huddle late. They just did get this play off. Orlovsky, did he get a diving catch? Yes, he did. Terrific catch by the walk-on Brian Sparks, the senior from Plainville, Connecticut. Terrific catch right in front of the West Virginia sideline for a first down.
Boy, it's just a beautiful catch. That's one of the harder things in the slot, coming up and breaking to the out. It's a high percentage play, but it's a hard throw and a hard catch. And beautiful job of finishing it off, having strong hands.
He's a former walk-on now on a scholarship. Coaches say he always finds a way to contribute, and that was a major contribution on his first catch of the night. 1st and 10, Huskies from the 35. Brockington, a nice hole on the right side of that offensive line. And he is ahead for 9 to the 44-yard line, where Pac-Man Jones gobbled him up. That's how he got the nickname. He was nicknamed by his family because as a baby he used to gobble up his bottle while he was feeding, like Pac-Man, like the video game.
Yeah, Pac-Man went too high on that one, though, in the video game. Needed a partner to help him bring him down. Brockington's a strong guy. You got to get down to his legs.
Chris Bellamy in at tailback now, senior number 34. He's from New Britain, Connecticut. Orlovsky, the pump fake, and the deep ball, and it's incomplete. Looking for Jason Williams. Anthony Mims had excellent coverage.
Well, you know, that's one of those throws that when you're playing against somebody like Murray State or Duke, you can maybe get away with that and just throw it up for grabs. But not against West Virginia. You take what the defense gives you in a game like this.
More than 8,700 yards passing in his career for Orlovsky. He was really the first big in-state recruit who stayed home to try to be the guy to lead them from Division I AA into 1A. On 3rd and short, it's Brockington back in the game. And I don't think he got the first down. Ben Lynch, the senior from Oil City, Pennsylvania, made the tackle. Scott Jerko is slow to get up.
You know, this whole defense has been banged up. The last thing they need to do is lose Jerko. You know, every one of them on defense seems like they've had one thing or the other that they've dealt with. And it's almost like when Jerko made contact, he lost his legs on the play. He didn't bring them up underneath him. And, you know, they've had ankles, they've had hamstrings, they've had shoulders, they've had a little bit of everything on defense.
He's a hometown boy from Morgantown, the home of West Virginia University. Went there as a walk-on. He had only one scholarship offer. That was the VMI, Division I AA. He said he wasn't into marching before breakfast. Always wanted to play at West Virginia. walked on and immediately became a factor on special teams, and then very shortly thereafter factored into the linebacking group.
This is an example, though, of offense. When it's 2nd and 1.5, go get the first down.
Yep.
You know, I worked a couple of years with Lou Holtz, and he used to say that all the time. Man, when it's 2nd and 1, go get another set of downs. Don't mess around.
Shane Hussar will punt. I worked with Dick McPherson, the great coach at Syracuse. 2nd and 1, almost always a run down. They used to ask him, why don't you take a chance on 2nd and 1? He said, because I like first downs.
Those old guys, they know what's going on, don't they?
Right. That's a good answer. First down's the best down in football. Pac-Man Jones back for the punt. A little bit off the side of the foot of Hussar. Caught on the run by Pac-Man. And he's down at the 34-yard line. Tripped up by Brandon McLean, who's a special teams star for Connecticut. Just a 31-yard punt, a return of 7. West Virginia, so effective all season long on first down. Not so tonight, averaging under 3 yards per first down play. And here's another from their own 34. First play of the possession, leading 7-6, more than midway through the 2nd quarter. The pitch to Colson, trying to run outside, and well defended on the corner. MJ Estep and James Hargrave. MJ, a sophomore from Mechanicsville, Maryland, another fine player in the secondary for UConn.
Yeah, and a beautiful job of fighting through a block on the outside by Hargrave to make sure he's not pinned. I talked about the perimeter being really exposed when you're bunched up inside like UConn has been. Got to be disciplined.
Here's Colson with running room to the left. He turns the corner down the sideline, inside the 20, and finally dragged down from behind. Estep saved the touchdown. It's a 48-yard run for Colson.
Ryan Thomas, number 81, the tight end, really is the key to this play here. I mean, he just does an excellent job over here on the outside. Watch how he comes through to number 9, Fincher, and he stays on him, keeps fighting and moving him. Almost a little holding, but let go right before. But that's all because of the tight end doing a nice job of coming off on the linebacker.
Colson came out after the long run, 48 yards. Pernell Williams, a true freshman, is in. They've been trying to avoid using him this season to retain his redshirt status. Marshall's going to call a timeout with the play clock down to 2. And Williams was on the field as they were getting ready to snap that ball on 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line. Here's Holly.
Well, guys, Rich Rodriguez this week, after their loss to Virginia Tech, had what he called a fire and brimstone meeting with his team. He said that he actually went ahead and pointed out guys who he thought had let down the team when they went back and looked at the film. Jason Colson was one of those guys who got called out in the meeting. He said, you know what, it was embarrassing. It was humiliating to be called out in front of your teammates, but it also made me realize that I can't let these guys down. So that big run right there, guys, I think he's gotten the message from the fire and brimstone meeting.
Well, Rich Rodriguez told us he had a headache after that meeting for about 2 hours. He said it was pretty much only the head coach speaking for an hour and a half. He was just upset. He said if we go to Virginia Tech and they're just better than us, that's one thing. He said, but we just did not play well. In a lot of ways, we beat ourselves. We weren't as physical as we need to be. And I wanted to make sure my team got that message.
Yeah, he also called it an Old Testament meeting, right? That was a part of it, too.
Kind of an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth kind of
one
stuff.
of the brutally honest ones. He's a fiery guy.
He is.
You know, and they play hard at West Virginia. And if they're not getting it done like he wants it and like he desires, then he's going to let them know it.
Pernell Williams is on the field, the freshman from New Lebanon, Ohio. He took the handoff and went ahead to the 12-yard line. And now he comes off the field. He rushed for 1,800 yards as a senior at Jefferson High School in the Dayton area last year. Jason Colson back in. 2 tight ends for West Virginia. Here's a blitz. Marshall lost the football, and James Hargrave pulled it out. Jason Colson recovered it for the Mountaineers back at the 22-yard line.
Well, watch Hargrave how he comes in and he takes the ball out of Marshall's hand. You see him reach around? Colson's trying to go out and block because the tight end had gone to the flat. Hargrave's coming off the corner. He just took it out of his hand.
3 wide receivers now. On 3rd down and long, they need to reach the 6 for a first down. Marshall with a lot of time. Throws it a double coverage too high. Intended for Chris Henry. And as has been the case most of the night, Justin Perkins was there with help from Dante Moore.
That was a brain cramp call there. You know, they had 2 receivers. One went left, one went right. Had a lot of blue helmets in the secondary cover, and he just had to throw it up for grabs.
Brad Cooper on to try a field goal for the first time tonight. Out of the hold of George Shell, who's been their holder for 3 years. They're late getting some personnel on the field. But plenty of time to snap it. Rich Rodriguez not happy about the execution here tonight. For good reason. 39-yard field goal try from just inside the left hash mark. For Cooper, who has plenty of leg. He kicked a 54-yarder earlier this year, and that's a bomb. Wow. And it is good. Brad Cooper, plenty of room from 39 yards out. Rich Rodriguez in the lead, but not real happy. West Virginia leads Connecticut 10-6. First Big East game of the season for the Mountaineers, the preseason pick to win the conference. Many had them as a possible undefeated team through the regular season. The 2 speed bumps potentially look to be Maryland, which they beat in overtime in Morgantown, and the game at Virginia Tech a week and a half ago, which they lost in Blacksburg 19-13.
I got the feeling in just watching them play that they felt the pressure. The expectations were grand, and I sensed that they felt it a little bit.
Cooper pops up the kickoff. It comes down to Matt Lawrence. He has trouble picking it up. He was out there because they lifted Tyvon Branch, who had fumbled 2 kickoffs tonight.
Man.
So they put Lawrence out there in his place, and he juggled it. And was tackled by Jeff Nochel. Let's head down to Miami, where tomorrow night the Hurricanes host Louisville. Here's Mike Tirico.
Thank you, Sean. We have the Olive Garden halftime report from down here. That's why Trev Alberts and Mark Mayer are on board. We're going to talk about the Big East, current, future, and past. Also talk about the new top 10 and a look ahead to the game here in the Orange Bowl.
And I'll tell you, if the Louisville offense can score on the Miami defense, a defense that's only given up 1 touchdown this season.
And Mike, you mentioned the top 10. Are there any teams in the top 10 that don't deserve to be there? We'll talk about that as well.
See you then, guys.
All right, Mike, thank you. We'll look forward to hearing from you and the fellas in just a couple of minutes. 3.5 till halftime. Brockington. A nice run, dragging would-be tacklers out of bounds at the 31-yard line. Scott Jerko along for the ride. Finally got Brockington down after a 17-yard gain.
You know what? You watch him run the football, and the running back, Brockington, knows that he's got somebody in the secondary to beat, which that time was number 9, Pac-Man Jones. He beats him. Pac-Man's going to have to get down around the thighs. He's got to stay off those shoulders because Brockington's proving that shoulder pads don't equal going to the ground.
Even imploring Connecticut to stick with the run, and why not? Brockington 85 yards rushing on 12. And Brockington outside to the left. Nice cutback. And a hard-earned 4 yards. He lost the football. The Mountaineers diving in the pile, but Dennis Hennigan says that it was retained by UConn at the 35-yard line.
Sean, I always enjoyed running against bubbles in defenses, and when you talk about bubbles, here you can see there are only 3 guys up front, and here's a bubble. See that? See these bubbles that they've got, and it just makes it easier for a ball carrier and a lineman. If the lineman can get out and go meet those linebackers, then it gives you a chance to find the crease.
Second and 7. A quick drop by Orlovsky through a fastball. That was not caught by Jason Williams. Well, this is right on the boundary, Craig, of Red Sox country and Yankee country. And Yankee fans hoping John Lieber could throw a fastball like that tonight, and the Red Sox fans hoping Pedro Martinez will have that kind of lively fastball. You'll see a lot of Red Sox and Yankee caps here in Connecticut. This is right between Boston and New York. And undoubtedly a lot of transistor radios in the stands tonight. I know you're for the Astros.
Yes, I am.
Orlovsky with a blitz coming, throws off the hands of Kataya and incomplete. And a punt up coming for UConn. With 2.5 to go. Anthony Mims had the coverage.
My guess is we've seen between these two teams probably 6 or 7 drops tonight. You know, quarterbacks 6 drops, and you know that's just a stall to the offense and the momentum that these two teams could have if they were catching the football.
Drops from receivers who ordinarily are much better than we've seen tonight, including Kataya. 4th punt of the night for Shane Hussar. And again, to reiterate what we said at the top of the telecast, no wind at all. He handled a low snap, got off a pretty good punt. Pac-Man handles it on the bounce. They had him by one leg, couldn't get him down. Finally, they managed to nudge him across the sideline. Tyvon Branch had him by the leg. A 37-yard punt, a 3-yard return. Well, as you saw, Mike Tirico is in Miami tomorrow night. He'll be part of our coverage as 2 unbeatens battle. 17th ranked Louisville trying to be a BCS buster. Well, the win over number 3 Miami. College football primetime presented by Cooper Tires. Thursday, 7:15 Eastern on ESPN. It's available in high definition. Spectacular high definition on ESPN HD.
Yeah, and Mark Mays down there saying he's going to show you how the Louisville offense does against, I think he said Miami's defense, maybe. I look forward to watching.
That's who they're playing.
Yeah.
Marshall never ceases to amaze me what you have done with that SMU education. Alfred Fincher made the tackle. A gain of about 5, and the clock will run under 2 minutes before they snap it again.
There he is, number 9. Watch the pursuit. Watch how he gets down the line, uses his hands, sees the carrier, jumps back inside. That man can play football.
Yes, he can. Senior with a lot of pro scouts taking notice now. Their team leading tackler, great energy, great intelligence. Olsen running right. Cuts it up along the hash marks, and Fincher's there again. This is a very well-coached defensive unit. Connecticut has good players, but you're not 12th in the nation in total defense without good coaching, and Hank Hughes does a terrific job coordinating this group. He was held and still got free to get the tackle.
Yes, he did, but that was a beautiful job of Colson running the ball against a very good defender, running right beyond him, getting the first down. I mean, Colson's coming on now. 9 carries, 75 yards.
A.J. Harris has not played tonight for West Virginia. Marshall with time, throws short, and the tackle could not be broken. It's Fincher again, tripping up Colson. And now West Virginia needs to hurry. The clock running down near a minute left, and Marshall got the attention of the official to get the timeout. Actually bumped him. Don't know what Rich Rodriguez is upset about, but he's working on one of the other officials.
You see, in the open field here, if he doesn't get to the legs of Colson, he's in trouble. Trips up those feet. You know, Colson's a good player. And that just shows you how good a tackler Fincher is.
He played high school football in Norwood, Massachusetts for Tom Lamb, an excellent high school coach who was Doug Flutie's high school coach.
And Doug Flutie was my teammate for a year in New England. All kinds of things coming your way.
No timeouts left for West Virginia. We talked about the job that Hank Hughes and his staff on the defensive side do. Those numbers will be put to the test the rest of the way. As we mentioned, some of it a product of the relatively easy schedule. Connecticut's 4-1. The wins are against Murray State, Duke, Army, and Pittsburgh. The loss at Boston College. There's Hank right up against the pole there. Defensive coordinator. Coached at Harvard and in the Canadian Football League. But he raves about Fincher, and the pro scouts are raving about him too. Ernell Williams, the running back, lined up to the right of Marshall, who goes out of the gun on 2nd down and 10. He's in trouble and swung down. They finally get to him. Sean Main, the sophomore from Montreal, the defensive end, drops it for a loss. And now a timeout called. And it's Connecticut calling it. They're the only team with a timeout left, and they use one of the 2 remaining. They'd like to get the ball back here with the Mountaineers leading at 3rd down and long.
And you know what? There's great push. There are only 4 defenders that are going to rush. The defensive line comes. Watch McPhee gets the push on the inside, and then Maine with a finish up. I mean, that's just great. Boom. Look at him running through there. 2 men have to try to come over to take care of the tackles. So Maine doesn't give up. He gets great push to the outside, and Marshall, who has so much ability, you know, that's one of those that the coach would say, hey, look, if you feel it, go ahead and get around the corner, buy a little more time. You can run or throw it down the field.
Tyler King, inspirational leader, 50-year senior, in with the defensive group all night long. Boy, what a shame. They finally get to the Big East. He was so looking forward to being a part of this first Connecticut season in the Big East, and they're hoping he can get back for the Buffalo game, which would be their second to last game of the year.
He was a big loss for this team, and you know, to see him out there, he just was a spiritual leader for me. He's a warrior.
Son of the former New England Patriot linebacker Steve King. 3rd down and 20. 5 receivers spread the formation, and Marshall takes off on a design run with a big bubble in the middle of the field, and he is chopped down short of the 1st down, but barely. He got within 3 yards of the marker when Justin Perkins sent him flying. Timeout, Connecticut. Neither team has a timeout with 45 seconds to go in the half. A gain of 16 for Rasheed Marshall.
And you know what? A while ago I just said, you know, why doesn't he use his legs to get outside? Marshall, he is their big play stripe. Whether he's throwing the football or running it, he's been a big play with his legs tonight. When he breaks the pocket and contain, it's mighty hard to bring him down. Although Perkins just shows you how to get it done down the field, didn't he?
He did. Sent him flying. 54 yards rushing for Rasheed Marshall, the number 2 all-time rushing quarterback in the league. When you're ahead of Michael Vick and behind only Donovan McNabb, you're in pretty good company among all-time Big East rushing quarterbacks. And he started the night needing 154 to catch McNabb. And now he's less than 100. That is up to date. He's 99 away from catching the great former Syracuse Orangemen. They were the Orangemen back when Donovan played, so we can still say that.
You would know.
I wish they still were the Orangemen.
Yes.
It was kind of silly.
You also wish they still played like the Orangemen.
A punt, not a good one by Brady. We had a good week last week against Virginia Tech. And that's another one off the side of the foot, so Orlovsky will have decent field position. They're going to mark the ball at the 34-yard line. No timeouts, 38 seconds. 19-yard punt by Phil Brady. Coach said he averages 1 shank per game, but that's the second one tonight.
I'd throw the ball down the field. I'd try here.
I think that's why they call the timeouts. They're planning to attack and go for it. 3 wide receivers. Orlovsky out of the gun. He's under duress and throws it away. Jason Hardy was bringing the heat.
Well, if you liked it going down the field with 39, you've only lost 5 seconds, so stay with your game. Go ahead, keep firing at him. Clock stops, although, you know, you don't want your quarterback to get pounded in the backfield, but it's a lot of time to get down the field. We saw Newsy kick a 49-yarder as clock expired first half against Pitt the last game.
Here's the leg to kick a long one. Rich Rodriguez wanted grounding, intentional grounding on the last play, didn't get the call. 3 receivers to the left. Bellamy, the running back, stays in the block, and the throw is high over the head of Kataya. 33 seconds to go in the half. 3rd down and 10. Huskies trailing 10-6. Randy Edsall, 46-year-old Pennsylvania native, played at Syracuse, coached there for 10 years under Frank Maloney and Dick McPherson, on to Boston College with Tom Coughlin. He followed Coach Coughlin in the NFL with the Jacksonville Jaguars. 1 year as defensive coordinator at Georgia Tech under George O'Leary, and then here as the UConn head coach starting in 1998. December of 98 he was hired, helped them make the transition very smoothly from 1AA to 1A. Now they get conservative. They don't want to have to punt here and give West Virginia a chance to do something.
Especially that guy number 9. You don't want to get the ball to Pac-Man in his hands. You know, when you talk about West Virginia going in at half, they had the drop touchdown by Henry in the opening series, big pass play. They had a callback holding on a Pac-Man reverse. So West Virginia, I'm sure that they'll hear a pretty good chunk coming from old Coach Rod when he gets in the dugout.
And he's not happy with anybody. He's airing out the officials right now on the way off the field, and we certainly know he's had plenty of angst directed at his own players. The coach who is ahead right now, and he's with Holly Rowe. Hopefully he'll be kind and gentle to Holly. Holly?
Hey, Coach, I know you're a little fired up with the officials right now, but how do you rate the execution of your team in the first half?
Well, I'm not real happy with the penalties, and we had, I don't know, 4 or 5 illegal procedure penalties, and that's really uncharacteristic of. We got to get that straight out at halftime and just play better football.
You said something to your offensive line about it. They're coming up too much. What did you tell them to correct?
Well, first they got to pass the calls down. When we audible play, they got to pass it down. It's hard to hear. And then also, we can't be too jumpy on the line of scrimmage. They're good enough just to wait till they hear the go and then play football.
All right, thanks, Coach, very much.
All right, thank you, Holly. Halftime here in East Hartford, 10-6 West Virginia.
Went in and talked about not making mistakes, for his offensive line to settle down, and for his wide receivers to catch the football.
Kickoff down to Jones near the 5-yard line. Flags thrown, and Jones down at the 30. Tackled by Tyvon Branch. He was the player who fumbled those first 2 kickoffs. Got replaced by Matt Lawrence, who fumbled the 3rd kickoff. 24-yard return, but
Number 51 on the return team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
L.J. Montenar guilty of the hold. They'll back up. Been a game of missed opportunities for West Virginia, including a chance for a touchdown on a long pass to Chris Henry that he could not catch. They did score on a 9-play drive, the only touchdown of the half for either team. James Colson took it in, and Cornell Brockington was the best player on the field for Connecticut's offense, 88 yards rushing on 13 carries. Let's look at our game track. Brad Palmer in at fullback, a converted tight end, leading the way for Jason Colson. Olsen rushed for 75 yards, including the touchdown on just 9 carries in the first half. Had a long 48-yard run. Sean Main, Alfred Fincher, Maurice Lloyd, all in on the tackle.
This is that loud end of the stadium where the students are for University of Connecticut, and it's caused a lot of problems for teams coming in here to play. We saw what Palco did, the quarterback at Pitt. He had several just false snaps and timeouts down there.
2nd and 9, a quick throw to Chris Henry. And he lost the ball, but it went out of bounds as James Hargrave threw him to the ground. Here's Holly Rowe.
Guys, I caught up with UConn coach Randy Edsall coming out of the locker room. He said their key for the second half is to focus on their short passing game. He likes how they're running the football, but says they have been ineffective in the passing game, so look for a little bit more underneath short passing routes to try to jumpstart that passing offense.
Well, and you know what? That's going to give confidence, and it's going to set them up offensively to do a little play action, a little give and go down the field.
Gain of 6 on the last play. 3rd down and 5. Marshall with time throws a good ball into traffic. Caught by Henry for a first down. At the 28-yard line, Chris Henry, the junior from Louisiana, on the receiving end of a 7-yard pass.
Sean, tonight we're seeing Rasheed Marshall on target, aren't we? I mean, he's really throwing the ball well, and Henry settles in there. He doesn't continue to run towards the middle. If he didn't settle there, number 9 Fincher's coming into that passing lane and would have broken it up.
First and 10. Colson seemed to be stumbling as he put his head down. Credit Fincher with another tackle. With help from Rama Fuller.
Well, it's very difficult to run against a stacked box, and you hear teams say it, but I want you to watch Hargrave, how he comes in and he feels, and he's the extra man. They can't account for him. This is the extra guy. And it's very difficult as a ball carrier to have that extra guy in the backfield to make him miss. If you got a little time, you can shake and bake, but Hargrave was right there in the hole.
Coach Rodriguez talked about the uniqueness of the Connecticut defense with those linebackers so close to the line of scrimmage. And there's another nice play by one of those linebackers up tight to the line. James Hargrave with a nice open field stop on Marshall.
Hargraves played a heck of a game, but you know, you better play a good game if you're a linebacker against Rasheed Marshall. Several design plays for him to run the football tonight, and between Fincher, Hargrave, and Malloy, they have to keep their eye on him, and he is effective with his legs. You've already mentioned his numbers all time in the Big East, how he compares to guys like Donovan McNabb.
55 yards rushing, 3rd down and 7. They just converted on 3rd down a moment ago. He has plenty of time. Now he takes off, and he couldn't get around Maurice Lloyd. To the 35, but that's 3 yards short of the 1st down. Randy Edsall is buttering his bread, and Rich Rodriguez on offense trying to figure out where his bread's going to be buttered tonight. They really can't attach themselves to anything consistently on offense.
This is nuts. Last year you and I did a game, West Virginia, Virginia Tech, this punt formation that they do, and
I was getting off quickly. He said Phil Brady gets the punt off as quickly as any punter he's ever been around. And Taylor got buried as he approached the 40. Knocked out at the 39-yard line. 35-yard punt. 8-yard return. L.J. Montanar made the tackle for the Mountaineers.
Remember, I was bashing that formation, and Coach Rodriguez goes, yeah, well, that's kind of how we do ours around here. I put my foot in my mouth.
Well, it worked well last year against Virginia Tech. That was a big midweek win for the Mountaineers. Sean McDonough, Craig James, Holly Rowe back in East Hartford, Connecticut. The Hood Car Countdown lightship flying overhead with its eye in the sky camera, bringing you these beautiful pictures of the Hartford area and Rentschler Field. And Orlovsky and the Huskies of UConn down 10-6 with the ball, 1st and 10 from their 39-yard line. First possession of the second half for Connecticut. They give it to the fullback Deion Anderson, who doesn't carry very often. He's ahead to the 44, a gain of 5 for the junior from Providence, Rhode Island.
And you heard Coach Edsall tell Holly Rowe at halftime coming out that he wanted to have some short, controlled, successful passing plays. And with West Virginia's defense, the style they run, they bring a safety up in to make the 7th man in the box. And with the running success that Brockington's have, they're going to have to be mindful of him inside.
2 tight ends into the ball game now for UConn. Back to Brockington. He did well to get just beyond the line of scrimmage. A yard for Brockington. Adam Jones made the tackle.
I get the feeling that at the first of this game, UConn wasn't in it, right? And they were kind of feeling out West Virginia, probably seeing a different level. But they've had time to adjust. Now it's time for them to make some plays. In West Virginia, they have to elevate. They have to recognize, too, what Connecticut's been doing.
Well, Connecticut about a touchdown underdog very much in this game. And so far this season, it would be hard to say that West Virginia has played like a top 10 team. They're ranking down to 16th. A nice blitz there. And a flag thrown in the secondary. Lawrence Odina came on the blitz and made Orlovsky throw it quickly. But there's a flag thrown in the secondary. Would you agree, Craig, this holding the call against West Virginia has not looked like either last week against Virginia Tech or this week a team that
holding number 9 on the defense, 10-yard penalty from the line of the scrimmage, 1st down.
Is worthy of a top 10, 15, 20 ranking right now.
Yeah,
they're just not that good.
They're not. And you know, Sean, I'm an AP voter. I didn't put them in the top 25. When they lost to Virginia Tech, that was it. I just felt like they were supposed to win that game, and they have the talent, but you can see the holding going on here with Pac-Man, and they're just not. They've got the talent to be a top 25 team. No question about that.
They're not playing like it right now. As Rich Rodriguez said, they haven't played their A game yet, and they haven't tonight, certainly. But they do lead by 4. Brockington turns the corner, and he's out of bounds near another 1st down. Pac-Man Jones knocked him out. They'll spot the ball at the 36-yard line, about a yard shy of the 1st down marker.
Brockington 6 foot, 200, 205, somewhere in that range, but he runs at about 215, 220. His strike zone, he gets to the defender before they do to him.
He runs, is he carrying bricks in his pants?
Yeah.
Here he goes. What did he run like on that one? 250, 260? Looked a little sluggish on that run.
He looked a little light in the britches there.
No gain on the play. It'll be third down, a long yard, perhaps a yard and a half.
But you notice here in this series, though, they're running the football. Connecticut's made a statement that we're going to run the football first and second down. They've come out running the ball, trying to get to third and short.
This is 4 down territory here for Randy Edsall. Keelan Dykes, the tackle on the last play for West Virginia, 97 yards rushing for Brockington. He's about to go over 100 for the 5th straight start. They give him a deep handoff, and he's dropped for a loss. I don't know about that play. Slow developing, forced to the outside. Jeff Nochel, a backup linebacker, junior from Fairmont, West Virginia, made a very nice play. He's better known as a special teams player for West Virginia.
Nochel, really good job of making sure that he's maintained his outside leverage, saw the ball, played with leverage on the play. And, you know, for Connecticut to get to third and short, they have to convert.
That play took him out of any chance to go for it. They lost 4 yards. Here's the 5th punt for Shane Hussar. Lanes it up high and too deep.
He needs to hit a short bad one as routine usually, and he finally hits one good.
39-yard punt. It'll come out to the 20-yard line. How'd you like that punt, Craig?
I'm going to eat an almond on.
ESPN's College Football Primetime. Brought to you by Listerine Mouthwash. Proven as effective as flossing.
Welcome back to ESPN College Football Primetime from Rentschler Field in East Hartford, Connecticut. Just outside downtown Hartford, near the banks of the Connecticut River. Those linebackers doing it again tonight for the Huskies. They average nearly 26 tackles per game combined. They're going to surpass that tonight.
Making up for Tyler Keene's absence.
First and 10, West Virginia with 2 tight ends into the game. A lot of time for Rasheed Marshall. He has a lot of running room. Credit Lloyd with the tackle, but that's an 11-yard gain. And a first down for the Mountaineers.
Well, and this is one of those plays, Sean, where, again, they're sending 2 white jerseys deep over here, and that's it. There's nobody else from West Virginia running in the pass route. So you've got a bunch of blue jerseys, 7 of them that dropped into coverage. Somebody has to stay tighter and recognize underneath that there's nobody there running in their zones.
70 yards rushing now for Rasheed Marshall, a senior from Pittsburgh out of Brashear High School, the same high school that sent Major Harris on to West Virginia for his great career. Here's Colson with some running room. That's back-to-back 11-yard gains for the Mountaineers. Fletcher chopped him down. First and 10, West Virginia at the 42.
And again, now watch Fincher in the middle of the field, number 9. He's got to find the quarterback. You know what? He's looking at the quarterback too much and forgetting that old Colson's pretty good ball carrier. Keith, he can run the ball. You know what I'm saying?
Ran away from Fincher. 12 carries, 89 yards. For Colson, he's out of the ball game right now. Cornell Williams, the freshman. He took the red shirt off tonight. Gets the carry. He shows some good explosiveness through that hole. Nothing tentative about that run for the true freshman. Jay Eastep made the tackle, but that's 5 more on the run for the Mountaineers.
And again, remember, going into this game, on first down, West Virginia's offense on the season had averaged 6.5 yards per play on first down. So that's what they're kind of used to having happen.
They're going to mix in a pass, and it's on target to Brandon Miles. Nice maneuvering through the traffic. First down. By far the best looking possession of the night. Very crisp for West Virginia. An 11-yard gain on the completion to the junior Miles.
It kind of looks like a West Virginia offensive mount coming here because there's a lot of cushion over there, a lot of respect, and now twice in a row on passes, UConn's defense has been real soft and deep and not uptight pressing them.
Look at all those Huskies right up around the line of scrimmage. And Cornell Williams runs right through them. They're just gouging them with the run right now. John Fletcher, the safety, made the tackle with help from Alfred Fincher. But it's a gain to the 35, a gain of 7, 2nd down and 3.
And I think UConn, Sean, right now UConn's feeling it too, because look at the number of bodies. There's only 3 back here, so 11 minus 3 equals 8 in the box, and you know they're up trying to stop the run.
That was impressive. First time this year you've done that without your kickers.
I'm telling you.
There they are again. How many, Craig?
Well, 11 minus 3 equals 8.
There we go. 2 tight ends. Marshall might be changing the play. 6:15 to go, 3rd quarter. The pitch outside, flag down, Williams down with a 1st down if it stands. Estep made the tackle, but the indication from the official, holding.
Holding, number 81 on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat, 2nd down.
Ryan Thomas, the senior tight end, called for the hold. He didn't like the call. The 8th penalty of the night against the Mountaineers.
Top of the screen, you can see him top left now. You see how when he gets his hands out there and Fincher's fighting to get away from those hands, you know, that's a problem. Tight ends, they're going to be seen into the line of scrimmage, and as a tight end, you got to know that, Thomas.
Well, that's a momentum killer. Would have been 1st and 10. Now it's 2nd down and 11. They're back at the 43-yard line with 3 wide receivers and Colson to the left of Marshall out of the shotgun. Dumped out to Colson. Look at Fincher run him down. He needed help to get him on the ground from Hargrave. But they stopped Colson short of a 1st down at the 36-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 4.
Did you see Fincher over there hollering at the West Virginia bench? He just kind of gave him some of that, yeah, I'm coming after you.
As we mentioned when we were here a couple of weeks ago for the Pitt game, Fincher and Orlovsky are roommates. They were running the stadium night on the Stores campus, Old Memorial Stadium, at 2 o'clock in the morning. Trying to get in shape for the season, running the stairs of the stadium at 2 in the morning. The neighbors called to complain about noise, thinking it was some rowdy party. It was those 2 guys hollering at each other to run faster up the stadium steps. Campus police told them to keep it down. Here comes a blitz. They didn't get there. The throw for Miles, and he stumbles down. Covered by Perkins. Really wasn't any contact. Brandon Miles just couldn't stay on his feet. And Rich Rodriguez has the decision to make with 4th and 4 at the 36-yard line.
You know, Perkins just bumped him about 3 yards into it, and he never recovered. And Miles just couldn't regain his footing. It was the right throw. It was the right matchup is what he's looking for. But it's like, where did he go?
They're going to go for it on 4th down. Boy, Marshall very deep in the shotgun. He's way back off the line of scrimmage, and this is why he's going to quick kick it. And what a job he did. It's going to be down inside the 2 by Chris Henry. You could see that one coming because Marshall was much deeper than he typically would be in a shotgun formation. 34 yards on the quick kick, and it's down at the 2.
And it is a nice kick, but Henry is the guy who makes this play.
Yep.
Man, you see him get down there, and the effort that Henry makes to go for it and not be greedy, go attack the ball, get it in. Beautiful job.
He used his body to prevent it from bouncing underneath him into the end zone. That's the Big East Rookie of the Year from a year ago. Star wide receiver. Far and away their best receiver, making a big play. And now Connecticut has to work out of the shadow of its own goalpost. Anderson got back to the line of scrimmage. The fullback, Deion Anderson. Nochel part of the group driving him back.
Yeah, he did get stuck here. You know, this is one of those conservative deals. Nochel, 59. Watch him enter the hole. Comes up in there. Bam! You know, I mean, that's sticking them. There are 8 yellow britches up in there, and you know, it's you almost say, hey, look, go ahead. If you want to jump into the Big East, you got to throw the football. You got to make a big play down here.
They do have 3 wide receivers now in 2nd and 10 from the 2. Nearing 4 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. No scoring here in the 2nd half. Orlovsky has his man Kataya, who caught it awkwardly and went out of bounds. Had he been able to catch it in stride, he had a chance to make a move and pick up the 1st down. They get to the 8-yard line, a gain of 6.
And, you know, what I'm saying, Sean, is you don't want to gamble, but if you want to get to the next level, you can't sit back and do the traditional method. You know, West Virginia's got better players. They've been around. They've played bigger games. They're used to this thing. You got to come out and stay aggressive.
Well, Randy Edsel said we'd like to control the clock. They haven't necessarily done that tonight, but he told him he'd be in the game in the fourth quarter with a chance to win it. I think he'd be very happy. Orlovsky's pass is deflected up in the air and intercepted by Lorello, who's going to take it in. Touchdown, West Virginia on the ricochet. It went up in the air, and Mike Lorello caught it. And the junior from Powell, Ohio, gives West Virginia a 10-point lead.
Randy Edsel's thinking about right now, you know what, that's what happens when you throw the football, but you also have to make the plays too. It's there. That's a short execution for 3rd and 4, and they've got to execute and finish the play.
So a defensive score for West Virginia. Randy Edsel didn't seem satisfied with the explanation from Orlovsky. That ricocheted off somebody, went up in the air, and Lorello ran it in. We're about 17 yards out. We'll get you the official distance of the interception return for a touchdown in a moment. The extra point is up and good. And West Virginia has the largest lead of the night. It's 11 with under 4 to go in the 3rd quarter. Dan Orlovsky just threw his 7th interception of the season, and a costly one. On a ricochet, it wound up with Lorello, who ran it back in. 17 yards for a touchdown. Give West Virginia an 11-point lead with 3:53 left in the 3rd quarter.
Think they can catch this one?
Due to catch a kickoff cleanly. Matt Lawrence. Crowd gave them a mock cheer as they did handle the kickoff, and Lawrence brought it back 9 yards to the 27.
Let's go back and look at the interception here for the touchdown. This is all about timing here. I think Henry, the ball hits him on the foot. Henry, number 1, went too deep. He's got to get flat. He's got to get to the flat and get out of the way. Instead, he's right in the passing lane. The ball clearly, you'll see here, comes off, and Orlovsky's pass hits Henry in the foot. Henry's got to be in the flat. Otherwise, that's a completion more than likely for a first down.
He didn't seem to realize where the ball was because he made virtually no effort to tackle Lorello. Credited officially with a 21-yard interception return for a touchdown. Brockington out to the 30. I know they've had success running the ball with Brockington, but it isn't getting them anything. We talk about how their game is to stretch the field vertically and horizontally. Well, we haven't really seen much vertical stretch.
They're not getting open in the secondary. You know, you've seen West Virginia's receivers wide open in pockets of areas around the field. We haven't seen that from UConn.
97 yards rushing for Brockington on 18 carries, but all they have is 2 field goals tonight. Now Orlovsky throws, and it's incomplete. Wasn't a very good throw for Dan Murray, the sophomore tight end from Gloucester, Massachusetts. They're just a little bit off tonight. It's costing them.
Old Mo is definitely over on West Virginia's sidelines right now, and UConn, the crowd needs to get them back into it because West Virginia's figured out the passing game. They understand what's going on with Orlovsky, and they're willing to give up something underneath and not give up the big play down the field.
And a timeout now burned by Connecticut. Not much going right for the Huskies at the moment. They're down by 11 late in the 3rd. Connecticut's been pretty good on 3rd downs this year, but they're not playing the Dukes and Murray States of the world tonight. They're playing West Virginia, and only 1 for 10 against this Mountaineer bunch.
That's 10%.
As usual, you are right on top of it.
I love it when I know the numbers.
I don't know why you needed the calculator on that one, but I guess it's good to have the safety net. 3rd down and 7. Larry Taylor, the back, lined up next to Orlovsky with 4 wide receivers. 4-man rush. Orlovsky throws a deep ball. Jason Williams dropped it. Open inside the 40-yard line, and it clanged off his hand. Receivers on both sides have been dreadful tonight.
I think that hit him in the face mask. I mean, he's going down the field right when we're talking about him needing to stretch and execute and do something. A little wheel route, gets to the outside. It hit him in the head almost.
He should try the hands.
They need to warm up the old jugs machine at UConn. Kick returns, go to receivers.
Both teams have been bad. I'd like to blame something. You can't blame the sun, the wind. We don't have any of either here tonight.
I think it's the pace of the game, Sean. West Virginia's
sluggish.
faster than UConn's used to playing.
Broussard shanks one. Those two punters have had a shankathon here tonight. Rich Rodriguez doesn't particularly agree with the placement of the football. It's a 21-yard punt. Tomorrow morning, get up early. You'll want to see the NBA preseason as it tips off in the Eastern Hemisphere. Yao Ming returns home, leading the Houston Rockets against the Sacramento Kings. Live in Shanghai, China, the NBA preseason on ESPN. Thursday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time. For in-depth NBA coverage, check out ESPN.com. Search NBA.
I went to a Rockets game last year. Yao Ming is insanely big. His calves are as round as our thighs.
You are insanely perceptive. There's Marshall with a nice run. And you just kind of get the feeling that drop ball really took what little life there was in this crowd completely out of it.
And you go back and you talk last 5 minutes of the ball game. How about the quick kick by Marshall down at the 3-yard line that backed up Connecticut, put a little pressure on them. Turnover, touchdown.
John McDonough with Craig James and Holly Rowe. We're at Rentschler Field just outside Hartford, Connecticut in East Hartford. Rasheed Marshall up to 91 yards rushing after that quality gain on first down. But flags on 1st and 10. A 21-yard run that got them to the Connecticut 35.
False start, number 65, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
That'll be the 9th penalty of the night.
Fifth false start. 5 of them.
5 out of the 9. Go ahead, big boy.
Don't know that one. Wait till they get the next one. Bet it's 50% of the time.
From the 40 and out of the shotgun with 4 wide receivers. Marshall pulls it down quickly. Might have been a design run. Alfred Fincher with another tackle and a late flag thrown in the backfield by the referee. Well, there you go. There's the 10th penalty of the night.
And 50% of the time, they're false starts.
I think if Rich Rodriguez could eat his headset right now, he might.
Oh.
Holding, number 75 on the offense, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat first down.
It's Michael Watson. He is not a first-time offender here tonight.
Just a little quick out of there, just rolling back on his heels, and that's why Coach Rodriguez said going in at half, linemen have to trust that they're good enough to listen to it or see the ball snap.
Marshall goes deep for Henry. Touchdown! Might have gotten away with a very minor shove to get clear of the defender, Alan Barnes. Great throw by Marshall, 49 yards and a touchdown for West Virginia.
Chris Henry had begged his team and coaches. Holly Rowe heard him saying it. Guys, give me another chance. Let me get back in this game because I won't drop the next one. And he didn't drop the next big one.
Well, indeed. He's been bothered by a little bit of a wrist injury lately. Big East Rookie of the Year last year when he caught 41 balls for over 1,000 yards, 1,006. Average 24.5 per reception. That's another big play. And Brad Cooper converted the extra point. Looked like Connecticut had a chance for a long pass. Williams dropped it. They had to punt. And the Mountaineers capitalized quickly on the 49-yard touchdown pass.
You know what happened there was Henry found the ball before Barnes did.
They had a little hand-to-hand combat there. Wasn't much in either direction.
Yes, Henry just looked at the football in the air and adjusted his route accordingly. And when Barnes looked back, he didn't see the adjustment coming. And you know what? You talk about Connecticut and their opportunities in this game, West Virginia is really over there making mistake after mistake trying to help UConn out. And if you don't come on and take advantage of it and shut them down, Rasheed Marshall's thrown the ball a lot better than his statistics show tonight.
Yep, he's had a number of drops. Orlovsky's had a few dropped as well. And starting to see some empty seats here late in the third quarter at the Rentschler Field. They did a very nice job in this $91 million complex, and you can see very easily that it could be expandable without much difficulty. They built it with that in mind, particularly on the other side of the field from the press box and in that end zone back there. Plenty of room to add seats, and they might have to do that sooner rather than later because they are starting to sell out every home game here in this 40,000 seat facility.
I think you're right about that. The support here has been really good. Great atmosphere at night.
They just never really could give the crowd much to cheer for. They still have time, however. Short kickoff down to Matt Lawrence. He's up the sideline, stacked up at the 32, perhaps the 33-yard line. Under 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Connecticut needs to get rolling quickly. 13-yard return brings Orlovsky onto the field.
Well, if you're down big in a football game and you've got Dan Orlovsky in the backfield, you've got a chance. Now, here's the difference. He's got huge career touchdown pass numbers, but he's got to do it against top teams now, like Pitt and West Virginia and these schools. He's got to now take his team down the field.
This is the third-ranked team they've played since moving up to Division 1A. They lost to Miami 2 years ago, Virginia Tech last year. They're in serious jeopardy of losing here tonight unless they can get it going quickly. Jay Henry tackled Brockington. Here's Holly.
Hey guys, Randy Edsall went over to his offense after that last drop pass and that shanked punt and said, guys, calm down, just relax. He repeated, just relax, 4 or 5 times into the face of his players. He's plenty of time. See if they can settle down and get something going here and not try to press.
Randy Edsall has had a lot of great mentors in coaching. Brockington trying to bounce outside. We mentioned when we were here 2 weeks ago. Coach for the great Dick McPherson, learned a lot about how to manage a program, people skills. Coach for Tom Coughlin, learned about discipline, organization, offense. George O'Leary learned a lot about defense. But he said the coach who has impacted his career most is Dick Geron. They were together as assistants on the Jacksonville staff. He said Dick just really was terrific in every facet of coaching and having the broad perspective about everything. I felt, Craig, and I know you did too, that he was very underappreciated as an NFL head coach. Some in Chicago wouldn't agree with that.
Yes.
It's about having talent too.
Gotta have it.
Third down, they are in dire need of a conversion, and they get it. Williams held on to that pass, and Pac-Man Jones collared him. It's an 8-yard gain and a first down out to the 44-yard line.
And I would also say now at this point in the game, tempo. You know, you got to get the offense in and out of the huddle. Relax like they told Holly was talking about there. But this goes back to when they played against Boston College earlier this season. And coaches were saying how, you know, they were talking about how when they play in big games, they kind of get uptight. And they're doing it again tonight.
And Brockington dropped for a loss. Great penetration by Ben Lynch. He said after the loss to Virginia Tech, we need to play a more physical style of football, and they've done that tonight against the Huskies. That'll be the last play of the third quarter. They're only scoring 2 touchdowns by West Virginia. Rich Rodriguez visibly agitated through most of the night, but a long touchdown pass to Henry has him a lot happier and leading by 18. Well, the Connecticut student section trying to stay positive. They're just excited to be on TV. They weren't excited about their team's offense. 27 yards of offense in the third quarter for the Huskies. Brockington held to 2 yards rushing on 7 carries. Orlovsky the fake, throws it to the fullback Anderson, former New England high school wrestling champion. Wrestled down at the 47 to look at some key plays. Goes team down 17-6. Jason Williams dropped one that would have been a big gainer that forced a punt. And right after the punt, a 49-yard touchdown pass to Henry.
And you know, this game's not over in terms of the chance for them to be
33 left.
That would be a good point. But you know, you just feel like that Connecticut's just like not been here offensively. And you know, you just feel like that the Connecticut's just like not been here offensively. And you know, you just feel like that the Connecticut's just like not been here offensively. And you know, you just feel like that the Connecticut's just like not been here offensively. And you know, you just feel like that the Connecticut's just like not been here offensively. And you know, you just feel like that the Connecticut's just like not been here offensively. And you know, you just feel like that the Connecticut's just like not been here offensively. And you know, you just feel like that the Connecticut's just like not been here offensively. And you know, you just feel like that the Connecticut's just like not been here offensively. And you know, you just feel like that the Connecticut's just like not been here offensively. And you know, you just feel like that the Connecticut's just like not been here offensively. And you know, you just feel like that the Connecticut's just like not been here offensively. And you know, you just feel like that the Connecticut's just like not been here offensively. And you know, you just feel like that the C
just a little bit off offensively all night long. Only 2 field goals tonight for the Huskies, who came in averaging 30 points per game. 3rd down, they're setting up a screen to Brockington. He waits nicely for some blocks. And one of the few big gains of the night for UConn. Cornell Brockington, 17 yards to the 35-yard line of West Virginia. And I would agree with you. You're down by 3 scores here. You need to be a little more
in and out, get in the huddle and move. Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is a nice call underneath. And what's going on now is West Virginia is going to bend and not break. Let the clock chew up. But go ahead and take it, Connecticut. Don't try to push things down the field. And see if you can't get Brockington to break a big one.
4 receivers spread the formation. And a deep handoff. That hasn't worked all night. That is just way too slow to try to get outside against this speedy West Virginia defense. Mike Lorello, who scored on the interception return, up to drop that play for a 2-yard loss.
And West Virginia's defensive line is just a big, strong, burly group that's controlled, most of the time, controlled Connecticut's offensive line.
Ben Lynch in particular, he's been injured this year, and that has held him below the form he demonstrated last year. But he's been excellent tonight. Play clock running down to 6, 5. You wouldn't know they were down by 18 points at the pace they're moving. Brockington tried to spin free and could not. Jay Henry, the sophomore from Tulsa, Oklahoma, played on a state championship team at Jenks High School, a great program in Oklahoma, made the tackle. He's on just about every special team, in addition to being a backup linebacker for the Mountaineers.
West Virginia's defense, the longer they've been out here tonight, you know, they've had a lot of injuries, they've been kind of banged up, nicked up, coming together and feeling it and playing better as a unit.
Chris Bellamy, the running back, now with 3 wide receivers, and WVU showing blitz. So they rush only 3. Orlovsky zips one. Nice catch by Karan Henry. 4-yard line, a ball thrown behind him with some heat. He still managed to catch it in his hands for a first down.
And you know, again, the tempo, clocks are moving right now. You got to get in the huddle, you can make a call and get to the line of scrimmage. But the hands on Karan Henry, the way he goes inside, drives, sets up.
Very nice.
And he was being held too.
That one catch just about makes him the receiver of the night on both sides. With the drop balls we've seen here this evening. Orlovsky 5 for his last 5. That one was good for 9 yards and a first down. Again, the play clock all the way down to 4 before they snap it. And Chris Bellamy is ahead to the 21-yard line. The senior from New Britain, Connecticut. He's also played some wide receiver here at UConn. He's a 5th-year senior with good speed.
Connecticut's really, their personnel group changes. 2 tights, they run the football. And they come in now with 3. Karan Henry and his group comes back on the field and gives you a passing formation.
11th play of the drive. Bellamy stays in as the running back with 3 wide receivers. Again, the play clock down to 6. And the catch, is it a catch? Yes, it is, for Kataya, who gets out of bounds to stop the clock at the 12-yard line. The 2 officials are conferring about the call, and now the call has changed. Originally ruled a catch, but the field judge, Keith Parham, stepped in and said, no, it was not a catch.
I mean, how would Randy Edsel know if he was in or not from all the way across the field?
I just think he wants to know why the first guy called it a catch.
Well, we'll see here. He's got control and both feet in. Right foot's down. I don't think so. You know, not from up here.
You don't think it was a catch?
No.
I would agree with you. They got it right. In the end, that's the most important thing. 3rd down and 7. Orlovsky sidesteps the rush and then threw it to somebody in the first row. He just had that one slip out of his hand. Well, it's 4th down and 7. The field goal only
give you 15 down.
Points.
Yeah, two more scores.
You need 1 8-pointer, 1 2-point conversion in there. So he's going to take his chances and go for it on 4th down and 7. Just about an absolutely must convert if they're going to have any chance of winning this football game tonight. All but one defender up on the line. Orlovsky has it batted down, incomplete, and West Virginia will take over and downs. Jeff Nochel, who's a backup but has played a lot tonight, and he's been excellent.
And you know what, Nochel, you've said his name several times in this game, and what you've got to notice is that when they're coming in, they've got two blockers for the one guy, Nochel, up top on the right side. You got a tackler who was trying to come out on him. You got a ball carrier trying to block him. They got confused at the line of scrimmage because they were showing blitz. They pulled out of that, and they messed up the tackle coming out to help the back.
We talked about the difficulty on first down in the first half of the Mountaineers, but they've corrected that and then some here in the second half. And here's another quality gain for Purdy. And a late flag thrown in the secondary after the ball carrier Williams had been tackled by John Fletcher.
Sean, do you detect that he's not happy there?
I don't think he's been happy at all tonight. I can't blame him.
He's going to have one of them Old Testament meetings.
They're going to win tonight just because they're the more talented team. But if you play like this against a good team, and they have a pretty good Syracuse team coming up next, you're not going to win.
No. You think they're a top 25 team?
They haven't played like it tonight. I think from a talent standpoint, they are. But you know, they were the co-champs of the league last year and picked to win it largely because, you know, Miami left, Virginia Tech left. But these guys lost some good players from last year. They lost Grant Wiley, they lost Quincy Wilson, they lost Brian King, they lost Lance Frazier, all of whom were in camps or still on practice squads with NFL teams.
And then got nicked up.
Yeah, KJ Harris is injured. I don't think they're as talented as they were last year. But I think people looked at their schedule. So really the only two major games you look at as problem spots are Maryland and Virginia Tech. Then it's the rest of the Big East and a week rest of the non-conference schedule. I think that's why their ranking was so high. People were projecting them to have a great record, not necessarily evaluating it strictly on the talent. Again, I don't want to diminish their talent, because I do think they have border talent.
And I fell in the category. I had them high. You know, it was and I think you're right. We did, as analysts, we all looked at it, and college football fans expect. I think Rasheed Marshall's better than I thought he'd be.
Chris Rodriguez needs a hug. I don't blame him, though. You know, they get a quality gain on first down and a stupid penalty away from the play. Cost them the gainer, sends them back, and now they have to punt and give it back. Oh, my gosh.
Well, if he didn't like that, he really won't like this punt.
That's the third shank of the night by Phil Brady. That's a 12-yard punt. Well, if he averages one per game, coach won't have to worry about a shank for the next couple of weeks. After the 12-yard punt, Connecticut takes over down by 18, first and 10 at the 33-yard line of West Virginia. 10:20 to go, and Craig, you would sense maybe Connecticut this time will speed it up a little bit.
A little sense of urgency here needs to happen for the offense. I'd go no huddle. You know, it hasn't worked being traditional and going through the clock, so get up there and make a call at the line of scrimmage. Maybe Karan Henry makes a big play for them downfield, but you got to change the tempo for sure.
They over with two tight ends. Rockington alone back. Orlovsky looking down the middle as a tight end wide open, dropped again. Dan Murray had a touchdown and he dropped it. Great call. Nice throw by Orlovsky. And Murray, usually sure-handed. He had a 61-yard touchdown catch against Murray State. Dropped it.
Yeah, that would fall under the old, boy, I cannot believe it. He's coming right down the middle of the field. Murray is there. Linebackers didn't drop into it. Very well thrown, right in the bread basket. If Rich Rodriguez and Randy Edsel could have a pity party together after this one.
Rockington, nothing doing. I don't know about that call either. Those hardy souls who remain are booing. a loss back to the 36. There have been a lot of good times here at Rentschler Field. They're 9-1 here in the first 2 seasons. The only loss last season to Boston College. But unless this changes in a hurry, it's going to be the first home loss of this season.
Well, you know what, Sean? I want to make sure. I didn't expect Connecticut to win this game. West Virginia is supposed to win. Based on
the huddle here is the reason for the whistle. We're going to back them up 5 yards. Would you like to continue your point?
You know, my point being is they haven't executed like I thought they would. West Virginia has played like they've been playing without an A game, as Coach Rod had said. But, you know, Connecticut just hadn't made the plays when they needed to, like the drop touchdown right there from Murray.
Well, the drop long pass that would have had them in business last time at the end of the 3rd quarter by Williams. That throws too far ahead of Karan Henry. It'll be 3rd and long from the 41-yard line. Excuse me, 4th down and 17. You might as well go for it.
Dan Orlovsky, I know he's had some drops tonight, and they definitely impact his numbers, no doubt about it. But you know, he's judged by his numbers from people around the country, and he's a talented quarterback. It shows you that you got to have the whole package, though. The receivers have to make the catches.
Well, these are things you just can't do either when you're trying to come back. Now they blow a timeout. Not a great night for the Huskies. Back in a moment. And as we welcome you back to East Hartford, Connecticut, Dan Orlovsky just threw an interception. 2nd of the night by Mike Lorello. On 4th down and 17, it was a deep ball toward the near sideline, and Lorello picked it off and ran it back to the 29-yard line.
Yeah, so you know what? Not only do they blow a timeout on a 4th and a bus ride, but they turn the ball over, and it's returned almost to where the line of scrimmage was.
He was looking for Kataya. Looked like he might have gotten his hands on it, but couldn't hang on. Pernell Williams, the freshman. Tough run. They took the red shirt off him tonight, Craig, and it looks like he's a guy who could definitely help. He said, they've been telling me all year I might play, but this week, it sounded a little more serious. He would get in there tonight, and he has.
Look at West Virginia. At the line of scrimmage, put the pressure on, tempo's up. Rich Rodriguez is trying to get his team to that A-game level.
I would think ahead by this score, you wouldn't snap the ball with 10 seconds on the play clock, and they won't. Marshall snapped it with 6. And Williams has the 1st down. John Fletcher made the tackle at the 41-yard line.
Yeah, you're right, though. This kid is not just a freshman in body. I mean, he's out there running hard. Williams is. Did you just drop your whole pile of paperwork there?
Yeah, I did.
But Williams, you can see, again, West Virginia always recruits and has good running backs. They always have, always will. It's just who's the next guy.
8 carries, 41 yards rushing for the true freshman. And he's ahead for 4 more to the 45. Here's Holly Rowe.
Well, guys, as you said, Pernell Williams getting that red shirt taken off him tonight, but he has been so conscientious. After his first 2 carries in the first half, he would go over to the sideline and talk to the running backs coach and make sure he was doing the right thing. He's trying to get his assignments right and make sure that he's on the same page with the rest of his offense in his first big action this year in Game 6.
The only thing he needs to make sure of is whenever it's a passing play that he knows who he's going to block, but running the football, just run with your eyes, your feet are going to follow.
When they rush for 200+, they win under Rich Rodriguez. They're going to be 22-3 with that number. When this one is over, there's another 1st down. Alfred Fincher and John Fletcher made the tackle. That's a 7-yard gain for Williams.
Here's those eyes that I'm talking about, Sean. Watch once he gets to everybody. The defense is stretched out. His bus goes back to the backside, and his eyes find the hole. And once you get behind that last blocker, get north.
Rich Rodriguez gave him a well-deserved pat on the shoulder there. The loss at Virginia Tech snapped an 11-game regular season winning streak for West Virginia. Dating back to last year, they're going to be back in the win column tonight. Jason Colson, the ball looked like it came out after he hit the ground, but no whistles, and it's run back by Justin Perkins. West Virginia sideline indicating they thought Colson was down. Rich Rodriguez hollering at the officials, but he's not going to get the call. And Connecticut takes over near midfield with 7:08 remaining.
And you know what? Great effort by the defense down the field to trying to strip the football. And
that is a fumble.
That it came out, didn't it?
It did.
Well, obviously it came out. Didn't it come out before he was down? Yep, ball's coming out. 2 hands on the ball. Second, third effort's great, but you got to cover it up and know the game.
9. Orlovsky chased out of the pocket and runs out of bounds for a loss on the play. Credit them with a sack. Ben Lynch and Keelan Dykes chased him out. Sports Center coming up next. I know big baseball fans. Last I heard, the Red Sox were trailing the Yankees 3-0.
Yeah, and the Astros tied up.
No chance for your Astros against the Cardinals in this series.
Yeah, your Red Sox got a big chance.
Second down and 13, exactly 7 minutes to go. Orlovsky hit as he throws, and he's fortunate that fell incomplete. Jason Hardy put the hit on Orlovsky, the converted offensive lineman.
He's also lucky that he was able to get up on this. When his arm goes back, it hits his tackle, and then it's a club sandwich.
Rentschler Field rapidly emptying. It was sold out with 40,000 fans to watch West Virginia and Connecticut play football against each other for the first time ever. Big East opener for the preseason conference favored West Virginia. It was a tight game at the half, but the only scoring in the second half has been 2 touchdowns by the Mountaineers. On 3rd and long, a catch for a first down. Showing that excellent speed we spoke of earlier. He's finally pulled down by Anthony Mims inside the 20. All the way down to the 17 goes the 37-yard gain.
Nice job of throwing the football. Last time we watched Orlovsky throw the football, he didn't make these throws across the middle of the field. Of course, now he's showing you that he can. He make all the throws, but top guy up here. Kataya's going to come across. He's got plenty of time to throw the ball this time. Orlovsky steps up, shot across the middle.
What do you think about how this might be different if Murray had held on to that certain touchdown pass earlier in this quarter? Came away empty on that drive. Orlovsky zipped one toward the end zone. There's a good catch and a touchdown for Connecticut. Karan Henry caught a blistering fastball from Orlovsky, not very far off the ground for a 7 pass. And they're going to go for 1, says Randy Edsel. To get to within 11, the field goal and a touchdown and 2-point conversion could get you even. First touchdown of the night for Connecticut. 5th of the season for the senior from Brooklyn, Henry. And Matt Nuzzi's extra point is right down the middle. Still time, 6:38 remaining. 72nd career touchdown pass for Orlovsky with great help from Henry.
Nice.
ESPN's College Football Primetime, brought to you by Toyota. Choose any direction as long as it's moving forward. And Van Helsing, The Adventure lives forever on DVD. October 19th, take the experience beyond the theater.
Just a couple of minutes outside downtown Hartford, Rentschler Field at East Hartford, Connecticut. Dan Orlovsky, a touchdown pass to Karan Henry. The Huskies within 11 and lined up for an onside kick as Nuzzi stands over the ball. Check that. Tony Charavino, the backup kicker, is on the field. He must be their onside kick specialist.
We'll see how special he is.
They were offside. They recovered, but they were offside. It won't count. Perfect onside kick. Keenan Harriet recovered it. But the flag was thrown immediately by the official on the line. And Connecticut is penalized.
That was a beautiful, beautiful kick. And it's difficult, you know, when you start trying to time out your start on this thing, you go, you know, somebody over there, he's over. Yeah, he's across. Got it right here. Well, on the second one, you want it to bounce up. You know, you work hard trying to get the second bounce to go high, and if you're on this hands team, go get it. No retreating to it. Go get it.
Randy Edsel didn't like the call. He wanted to know the number of the player who was offside, but as we could see, there was a player clearly offside.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they'll try it again with the same alignment. Taking off from the 30, they stayed onside, but that time the kickoff went right into the belly of Charles Hales, backup quarterback and part-time wide receiver. So West Virginia will get the ball at the 41-yard line.
Yeah, Charvino, the first time he was relaxed, kicked the ball, and allowed it to kind of bounce on the second hop.
Are you surprised with this much time left? There are so few people here.
Yes. Well, you want me to bust them? I'll bust them.
Point. Yeah, I took care of that at Syracuse the other night. Why don't you take care of these people?
I mean, you know, you talk about lots of fannies that have hit the road, lots of red tail lights out there. It is only an 11-point game.
Pernell Williams, the ball carrier for a gain of 2.
See how easy the kick was with his leg. The second bounce goes high. Now watch how hard he swings it. See how he changed the delivery of his leg. You're looking at me, you're shaking your head.
Well,
like,
that was absurd. I had not noticed that until you pointed out, and clearly it was true.
Okay. I was a kicker, not a soccer style, but I was a straight on kicker. You didn't know that either, did you, Mr.
The square toe.
Square toe.
They missed the handoff, so Marshall keeps it. And it's a great game down to the 20-yard line. James Hargrave made the tackle. 18 yards on the run for Marshall.
Creeping up on that all-time Big East rushing leader for quarterbacks.
Yeah, he is. He has 110 yards on 18 carries tonight, so he needs 44 more to catch Donovan McNabb as the Big East all-time leading rushing quarterback. .537 to go. Speaking of Donovan McNabb, Syracuse, the next opponent for West Virginia in 8 days. That'll be next Thursday night. Mike Tirico, Kirk Herbstreit, Lee Corso will be in Morgantown for the Orange and West Virginia on October 21st. Pernell Williams down to the 13-yard line. The best view of tonight's football action at Rentschler Field is brought to you by Hood Carb Countdown. It's a light ship. Are there a lot of carbs in these Rentschler Field hot dogs? Because you've had, by my count, 4 tonight. 2 before the game, 2 at the half.
That man right there and I could have eaten a few of them ourselves, couldn't he? Yep.
Up the middle, Williams. There's the first touchdown of his collegiate career. Pernell Williams, the freshman, 13 yards out.
Can you keep the ball in college?
No.
I don't think so.
Don't believe so. Well, the only folks still here are those hardy souls who've made the trip from West Virginia. 75 yards rushing now on 13 carries and a TD for Pernell Williams. And plenty of backs to choose from now for Coach Rodriguez. They'll get KJ Harris back eventually. Jason Colson, certainly a solid back. He's had a career high in rushing tonight with 111. And now Williams has joined the stable. The extra point good for Cooper.
That's what he's talking about. Coach Rod wants to see him finish strong, and this is what you do when you're a freshman and you're wanting to run hard and poor tackling defense. You just don't have quite. We don't see number 9 Fincher ever miss like that. Your dauber's in the dirt. Even though there's no dirt out there. Figure that one out. How am I going to say that?
A lot of grass.
Yeah, a lot of grass. Dauber's in the grass.
So this is the Big East opener for West Virginia. They're going to go to 5-1 overall and 1-0 in the Big East with the game against upcoming. Syracuse looked good against Florida State over the weekend, but you think those are the 2 toughest tests?
And you know what? We've had Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh will be better. Tyler Palco's a good quarterback.
I think BC is the second-best team in this league. I think that'll be the biggest test. And West Virginia has played very well over the years, particularly lately against Boston College. They won at BC against the bowl team that the Eagles had last year.
And West Virginia's winning without playing that A game.
Yeah, I mean, they did a lot to hurt themselves tonight. 11 penalties and 2 turnovers, some drop ball punts. And yet here they are, comfortably ahead with 4:42 to go. Cooper to kick off. Larry Taylor and Matt Lawrence back deep. High and short kickoff. Down to Lawrence at the 18-yard line. And he brings it back to the 27, a 9-yard return. Coming up right after the game, Sports Center with Steve Levy and Scott Van Pelt. Tonight's top stories. Kobe fires back at Phil. Phil Jackson had some excerpts of his diary released. Wasn't too complimentary toward Kobe. So Kobe apparently has answered. We'll want to tune in for that. Red Sox, last we heard on the short end of the score against the Yankees. And is Sean Salisbury debating himself tonight? Is that what we
He always does. What's new?
John Clayton or others?
If anybody could argue, Sean.
Sean is often wrong but never in doubt.
He could build a case for both sides with his own mind.
It's the swing past to Chris Bellamy. And he's out of bounds at the 30. A 3-yard gain. Pac-Man Jones made the tackle. I don't think I would have Pac-Man in the game were I the West Virginia coaching staff, one of their most valuable players, maybe the most. Well, he wasn't that happy for long, was he? Rich Rodriguez, by the way, just got a very nice award, prestigious award from the FBI for his involvement with the FBI. He's been involved in, among other things, a program designed to get fingerprints of young children when they come to football games. They get copies of their fingerprints, which are stored in the FBI's fingerprint holding area, which is very near Morgantown. And that way, God forbid something should happen, a youngster gets lost or abducted, it could help them find that youngster because they have the fingerprints on file.
It is a great thing, and it's a nice award for Coach Rod. The thing that struck me when you talk about the holding tank area is it's a place where you and I need to stay away from. We don't need our fingerprints anymore.
Dan Murray made the last catch. 2nd and short. Orlovsky throws to Williams for a first down. And a few days ago,
to our nation's communities through unselfish dedication and leadership. Thank you again. There you go. Take that.
He was really honored by that. Remember when we talked to him the other day, he had his FBI golf shirt on. Many faces of Coach Rodriguez tonight. And that pass behind Henry. And incomplete. With Jamal Adai in coverage. Well, the bottom line is, it is going to be a win. It hasn't been an artistic thing of beauty, but it will be a victory.
And at the end of the day, it's a big win. On the road, you knew you were playing against an opponent that you hadn't really worked and seen before in a Rensselaer field, and it's a sold-out environment. It was hostile and national TV.
He started out as a head coach at Salem College, small school, and after 1 year as the head coach, the program was taken over. The school was taken over by a university from Tokyo, from Japan, and they drop football.
He's one of 17 Division I-A coaches who are coaching at their alma mater. Did you know that? How about that little nugget?
There's a fun fact that you just pulled seemingly out of midair.
It's a touchdown. When I can get something beyond you, it's a score.
That though. It was one I said earlier. He played defensive back.
But did you know there were 17?
Yes, I read the same exact notes that you read that the fine Shelley Poe, sports information director at West Virginia, puts out.
I thought Shelley sent me
some of the others without looking at my notes.
Well, I can do that too.
Go ahead, name one. For everyone you name, I'll try to name one.
Art Browse, Houston.
Orlovsky throws one to Chris Bellamy. He's inside the 50. Al Groh.
Mike Shule, Alabama. I'll go ahead and give you another one. Jeff Bauer, Southern Miss.
Frank Beer. John Bunting.
Houston Nutt, Arkansas.
We're running out of 17. First and 10.
I got the truck in my ear helping me.
The truck is helping you in your.
I don't need it.
This was way too fast.
No, I don't need it.
Can I go with Al Groh again?
You can go Al Groh again.
I can't find my
West
notes.
Virginia.
I got you on the Bryles Houston one. And
how about Rocky Long? Gary Croton, Brady Hoke, Bob Pruitt, Ralph Friedgen, Chris Alt, Chuck Amato, Tom Kraft, Phil Fulmer, Tom Amstutz, Carl Dorrell. I read them all.
Yeah. All right, Big East.
What do you think? You like the chances of West Virginia to win this conference and go to a BCS bowl game?
Yes.
As the Big East champ?
Yes, I do. I would agree with you. They've got a couple of games they're going to have to play better at the end of the season.
Well, I think the toughest games they have left, as we show on the schedule, are at home, which should help. Syracuse and BC are at home. But the Gator Bowl, the Insight Bowl, the Continental Tire Bowl.
And, you know, they had so much pressure. The expectations were, based on schedule,
undefeated.
Undefeated all the way. And they're thinking Orange Bowl.
Rich Rodriguez said his team bounced back pretty well from that. After they lost, that was out the window, and said our #1 goal really is the Big East championship. Very much in front of them. 3 minutes to go. Connecticut, 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line. And a catch made by Henry. Out of bounds at the 4-yard line. Pushed out by Lawrence Adina. This is just about the ends in there for West Virginia, and Connecticut is moving briskly. Yes, this is why you keep your first-string defense in, too, because another score could make it just that much more anxious for Rich, who has already been a little anxious tonight. Second and 1 at the 4. Jason Williams, the motion man. Low snap handled well by Orlovsky. He zips one through the hands of Jason Williams. Boy, he throws some pretty hard passes, doesn't he?
He has to, because they're covered up.
Actually caught tonight.
Yeah, and you know, playing against good teams like this, you want to have the ball in your hands, but you got to have strong hands. Sean, watch here again. I mean, that's a bowling alley.
Yeah.
You know, there's another drop touchdown.
3rd down and 1. 2:51 to go. Orlovsky wrapped up and gets bounced out of bounds. Short of the 1st down. It'll be 4th and 1 from the 5-yard line. Jerko and Lynch combined on the stop. Well, they might measure. They actually spotted the ball inside the 4, so he might have the 1st down. Looked from here like they were going to put the ball back at around the 5-yard line. You didn't see the score for your Astros, did you?
No.
10-4.
Cardinals?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're on the road. They're still excited about, you know, they're over.
And they should be. Good for them. They won the playoff
finally
series.
Get a series going. Yeah. But they've got, like, you know, like, y'all got a 100-year futility stretch on the Astros.
Don't exaggerate. It's only 86.
Something like that. Okay.
And not futility. We've won the Red Sox. I shouldn't say we. The Red Sox have won playoff series. As recently as last year. Futility is not winning any.
Yeah.
At all. For a long, long time.
Go ask the Bambino fans about that futility. They'll define it differently.
You're relentless. You really are. Just relentless. 4th down and inches. Hopefully they'll be able to hear the signals over the crowd noise. Orlovsky keeps for what appears to be a 1st down. And it is with 2:41 to go. It'll be 1st and goal for Randy Edsall's Huskies from the 2.
'97, 92 protection.
4 wide receivers. Orlovsky hung on, and it's Matt Kataya. Gets them back within 12. Last time they got to this number, they kicked it. And I think this time they're going to go for 2.
Yep. This will be a game where both coaches' staffs really pulled a hair out of their head, like what could have been. West Virginia could have rocked UConn. UConn could have played a lot better.
Play drive, 73 yards. Matt DiGennaro, Shane Stafford, the other quarterbacks with 73 touchdown passes for Connecticut. So it's a 3-way tie, the all-time lead, and that ball is a little too far for Henry. He caught it, but he was well out of bounds. So the try for 2 fails with 2:18 to go. West Virginia by 12. Touchdown by Kataya has Connecticut within 12, but just 2:18 remaining to be played here in East Hartford, Connecticut. Time for the TIAA Cref player of the game, and it is Rasheed Marshall, the quarterback from West Virginia, who rushed for 110 yards tonight and passed for a touchdown, through 12 for 20 for 138 yards. They're going to try another onside kick. Needs to go 10 yards. It did, and it looks like the Huskies have it. Bounced off a couple of players on each side, and it was recovered by Tyvon Branch.
Watch the swing of his leg this time, Sean. Much smoother, didn't jerk it, hit the top of the ball, so that second bounce.
Right, went off Keenan Harriet, and then Branch got it on the ground. So Connecticut has it at the 48-yard line. There's our TIAA Cref player of the game, Rasheed Marshall, 248 total yards tonight. And a little bit more had not been for a couple of drop balls, particularly early in the game. Orlovsky still in there. Intent to dump it off, and it's out of bounds at the 50, a gain of 2. There's Rasheed. He's had a very nice career at West Virginia and still plenty to play for, including Big East Championship.
I'd have to say the co-player of the game would be Coach Rod with his facials. He's had some emotionals.
I think he worked harder than anybody tonight.
He did. He's got to be tired.
Well, certainly Mike Lorello was a candidate with 2 interceptions, including 1 run back for a touchdown. Orlovsky throws short again to Bellamy, and he's out of bounds at the 44, 2 yards short of the first down. At this rate, these plays will not be enough with 2:05 left.
Here is that they're going to lull crossing route.
From the 44, 3rd down and 2. Orlovsky and these Huskies battling to the end. And it's intercepted. And run back by Jeff Nochel. We mentioned mostly a special teams player. He's played a bit more tonight because Adam Lenort's had a very nice night for himself. It's the 3rd of Orlovsky. First INT and a 16-yard return for Jeff. Physical education major. Walk on. He was the 2001 West Virginia High School State Wrestling Champion at 215 pounds.
You know that old saying in football, you're only a sprained ankle away from being back out on the spotlight, and Nochel's taking advantage of it. Nice night by him. And that's, you know what, there's Orlovsky just not seeing the drop, recognizing, seeing everybody out there.
Marshall still at quarterback. And it's Pernell Williams to the 37-yard line. Hood. Hood, Carb Countdown is pleased to bring you these stunning aerial views of empty seats from the light ship. Hood. Card, I was going to say. I got my last letters in those two first words.
Mine's ahead of the tongue.
Hood, Carb Countdown. It's not the easiest thing to say. But it wasn't as difficult as I made it, that's for sure.
The Hood.
The Hood. Card Countdown.
The Hood Carb Countdown.
Dion McPhee made the tackle on Williams. McPhee's from the Bahamas. Didn't play football until he went to the Bowl School in Jacksonville, Florida as an exchange student. Later coming to Connecticut. Under a minute to go, we check in with Holly Rowe.
Well, guys, I had a chance to talk to Pernell Williams on the sideline. I asked him if it was worth taking the red shirt off in Game 6 of this season. He said, yes, ma'am. Tonight, they call him the puppy, and the puppy's getting some feed tonight, guys.
Puppy's a bulldog.
There's Pernell again.
They won't be calling him puppy too much longer. Not running that hard.
Well, if he keeps running like that, it's going to be a difficult decision. Not only have they taken the red shirt off, but you know the way he's running, he's a candidate to see a lot more playing time. They have a crowded backfield now with Colson and K.J. Harris. You get the sense, didn't you, that the coaching staff is a little irritated with K.J. Harris. Not they said so in as many words, but you get the feeling they wish he would play with some of these little nagging injuries.
And yes, and the fact that Jason Colson, that fumble that he had going down the field that turned around, led to a touchdown. All those things keep you on the sidelines. I always taught that if you fumble, you might as well take 50 yards off whatever you've done for that night.
K.J. Harris not involved in the action tonight. West Virginia goes to 5-1, 1-0 in the Big East. Connecticut 4-2 now. 1-2 in the Big East. Final score.